Here's a quick podcast for all you true crime fans. The case of the missing Reeses. It was me at the store with my mouth. Motive? They're Reeses. What was I going to do? Stop myself? Tune in next time to see if I do it again. Spoiler, I will. Wow, that had everything. Reeses, suspense, Reeses.
Last podcast on the left is all about the facts. So when Southern New Hampshire University came on as a sponsor, it was time to do some research. Turns out they offer more than 200 online degree programs, and get this, criminal justice and psychology are some of the most popular. Classes have no set meeting times, and tuition rates are some of the lowest in the U.S. Want to learn even more about SNHU? Visit snhu.edu/last.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
This is going to come out sometime after the news of this weekend, but I think it's nice for Hawaii to feel some panic.
Oh.
Because they are so relaxed.
Do you think that's right?
All the time.
Do you really want to say that on camera? On microphone?
Yeah. This is going to be like, it's going to come out like a full week after the Hawaii thing.
Yeah.
I think the Hawaii thing is already out of the news.
It's totally out of the news.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I am Ben Kissel, and this is the last podcast on the left. But you've already heard an intro, so you know that already. But per my contract, I will remind you, this is the last podcast on the left.
And who am I?
You are Marcus Parks.
And who are you?
I am Ben Kissel.
And who's out there in Atlanta?
And that is Atlanta's Henry Zabrowski.
It's cold in here. It is very cold inside of this apartment. But honestly, wouldn't it be nice? You have 30 minutes. You think you're about to get blown up by a fucking nuclear bomb.
Sure.
You could say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then technically you'll have to deal with it a half an hour later.
Is that what you're concerned with? It's like the nuclear missile comes and all you're concerned about is getting out of free speech jail?
Yeah. Obviously. It's my one shot.
Right. Well, I'm sorry what happened to your Atlanta Falcons there over the weekend as well. Speaking
My
of
Atlanta
destruction.
Falcons?
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, speaking of free speech, some guy took full advantage of it and it led to the death of a lot of people. Jim Jones, Jonestown, Part 2. This is intense.
So when we last left Jim Jones, he had just founded People's Temple, giving a name to an organization whose membership would fluctuate from dozens to thousands over its 23-year existence. But in 1955, Jonestown was still a long ways away. It would take years for Jim Jones to build it. But as we talked about last episode, he'd already figured out the basics by 1955. He just needed to take it to the next level.
Remember this. When you start your cult, the big thing is patience.
Right.
You have to drop seeds early.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. You got to build in generations. These are the people. This is why things last a long time. This is why Scientology is still going on. Is because it's deep-seated. It takes, so just give it that, give it that slow cook.
And remember, time keeps on ticking into the future a little faster than you might expect. So
Thank you for, I almost forgot about Steve Miller.
I know you did.
You almost forgot those sage words from Steve Miller Band.
Absolutely. But don't make your doomsday date too early. That's what Shinrikyo made the mistake of. 92 was right around the corner.
Yeah.
They should have pushed that to like 2025.
Push it into the future, build it up, and say,
That's
there's
right.
going to be a lot of shit.
Well, that was actually one of the genius things of Jim Jones is he never actually put a doomsday date on his own cult. He put doomsday dates around him, but he never put one on the cult itself. With him, as we'll see, if you follow Jim Jones, you avoid the doomsday date. Now, one thing that's important to know is that a large part of the People's Temple membership always was and always would be elderly women.
He's rolling in it. At some point, do you think Jim Jones looked out at the crowd and was just like, I've done it?
Finally. Look at all of this crepe paper skin. I love looking at every single human being here whose arms I could break if I flicked their wrists with the strength of flicking a sugar packet.
Oh, God. You just reminded me of that story of my friend who worked in the nursing home. And the patients would get their skin snagged on random, I don't know why there were nails hanging out and stuff. Then it would just peel right off their body just as you said, paper mache.
So many congressmen and senators are in their 70s right now. It'd be so easy to just take them out in the White House by getting a Zamboni and just driving through Congress and just sweeping them up with the sweepers. They'd fall apart. They would turn into like pulled pork.
That would be a good scene from Scream Queens, which people reminded me of on Twitter.
Well, all of this all owed to the way that Jim Jones was able to ingratiate himself with old people. And so, one of the People's Temple's first altruistic projects was taking elderly congregants into the personal home of Jim and Marceline. And eventually, that endeavor grew to several nursing home facilities, incorporation size.
They were good. They were good nursing homes. They worked really hard at making them super high quality.
Yeah, they were quality nursing homes. And
It's
this
like what nursing homes is to Jim Jones is what Magic Johnson was to car washes. That's what I wanted to say. He franchised.
Also, a very convenient aspect of the nursing home angle is that what he would do with these old people is that he would get them to give them the leases to their homes, and then he would take their homes and absorb all their assets. So it's a really fast way to get money. Is it just to adopt an old woman, especially like 95 to 97? Right. She's not going to be around for that long. She's not even going to know you're not wiping her ass anymore. You leave her up in the closet until she's gone, and then you get all her stuff.
Oh, that's not good. Did you learn nothing from Billy Madison? That's Ben Stiller's approach.
Happy
Gilmore. I'm sorry.
Not Billy
my
Madison.
Goodness.
Well, that's one of the ways that this whole nursing home thing worked for Jim Jones. The other ways is that they took care of the elderly, and so they gained the community's trust. And 3, it gave members of the People's Temple jobs. Together, these 3 things, the money, the jobs, and the community care, would be integral to the development of People's Temple, both in Indianapolis and beyond. Jim also founded a soup kitchen type cafe called the Free Restaurant, which served about 2,800 people every week.
Wow.
He organized clothing drives, and he put together youth programs that kept kids off the streets.
He was doing good work, and it was a lot of hard work. And he realizes, and so that's where these games start playing out, right? Where it's in the end, again, this looks totally kosher. This looks great.
Right.
So like he's trying to help humankind, and he is helping humankind. And a lot of it is genuine. But the problem is it's so small. It's just a small amount of people he's reaching, and this is still just shitty indie. You know what I mean? He needs to figure out.
I don't think that's the official slogan of Indianapolis.
Not for me. We had a great time in Indianapolis.
We loved the city.
I loved Indianapolis. We went to CrimeCon there. It was wonderful.
It was actually surprisingly beautiful.
It was a beautiful town. But, as positive as all this was, as Henry said, this was all small fries. Jim actually wanted political influence.
Right.
And the person to help him there was Marceline.
So you're telling me the way to get political power in this country is not embracing older African-American women? That's not the road to the White House in this country?
It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, serving free soup doesn't get you there, except for Bernie Sanders, who just ate a lot of free soup.
Oh, yeah, a lot of it. And it is now, by the way. Look at Alabama. We won't go into it.
See, at first, Jim Jones didn't necessarily have a talent for civics. He was a little coarse. He didn't necessarily know how to move in those social circles. But luckily for him, his wife had grown up in a politically active family.
That's right.
She was sent as a scout to various civic meetings across Indianapolis, taking notes on policy, decorum, and who the local movers and shakers were.
Well, I honestly believe that he specifically chose Marceline as his wife because of this fact.
Right.
That back in the day, it seemed more like, they were in love. She was kind of the hot nurse. He was the fun nurse that made sponge basses fun. And it was like, he saw those qualities, I think, and knew that she came from a civic background. And as all these things kind of came together, he was like, yes, your purpose has been revealed to me. Mm-hmm. And she just fit right in because she was, I think she was excited to be a part of the entire movement. She liked all of the volunteering. She loved the nursing home. She personally was in charge of a lot of this.
Like June and Johnny Cash. June the establishment, Johnny the rebel. But who did the audience relate to? Mr. Cash.
So after Marceline went to all these meetings, she'd report back to Jones. And then when Jim Jones himself showed up to the next meeting, days or weeks later, he knew what to say, how to say it, and who to say it to, instantly giving him credibility. But politics wasn't the only place where Jim Jones had his attention in the mid to late 50s. That's when he discovered Father Divine, a.k.a. The Messenger, a.k.a. Reverend Major Jealous Divine.
Is he a WWE manager?
He does. Because you have to name yourself Jealous Divine. You have to be very, very confident.
Well, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, his logic for calling himself jealous was, I am a jealous God.
Oh.
And so he said that God's name is jealous. And so God's name, if God's name is jealous, then my name is jealous. You call me Reverend, Major, Jealous, Divine.
Why do I have a feeling this guy has an assistant solely to rub butter on his feet? I feel like this is
Someone come rub butter on my feet. You know I call them loaves for a reason. So hard at how I punish these big, cracked feet by jamming them into these shoes.
How does this get me closer to God again, Mr. Jealous?
Rub the feet and you'll see, my friend.
Jim Jones pretty much stole Father Divine's entire act and repackaged it, sort of like what Elvis did with black R&B stars.
Okay.
With what a lot of white people did with a lot of black people's stuff.
That is true.
And what Orion did to Elvis. Remember Orion? Very famous.
Orion was great, but Orion, it was different.
It was different. Yes, it was different.
I really think it's true. Where Jim Jones sort of was. I mean, Jim Jones obviously is the garage rock of cult leaders. He has taken all of these things. I
Is
would
that a
say
bad thing or a good thing?
It's a good thing. For cult leaders, so it's a bad thing for the rest of us. But he was a guy that he invented a lot of the stuff that we're going to see became the trope of the cult leader. But what we're actually going to see is that most of those turns, the classic cult leader turns, he stole from Father Divine.
Okay.
Like Father Divine was doing this since the 20s, and he figured out a long time ago how to manipulate a group of people into doing things that they didn't want to do.
He's taking it to the next level, though, perhaps.
Oh, yeah. Jim Jones is the Elvis of cult leaders. This guy took it worldwide. Okay. Everyone knows who Jim Jones is.
Yeah.
Just like everyone knows who Elvis is.
I heard that.
Very good, Marcus.
I heard that.
So yeah, since 1919, Father Divine, he'd run the kind of figurehead-centric, black and white integrated kind of cult that Jim Jones was aspiring to. Divine, he ran a tight ship on his compound. He had successfully convinced his followers that he was God on earth, and he had his pick of female followers.
Nice.
Divine had such a hold on his congregation that when his wife, Penaniah, called...
Wait, what was that?
Penaniah.
Penaniah?
Penaniah is a cool
Sounds like
name.
you got to go to the doctor.
Very
that is
funny,
a diagnosis.
Very,
not
very
a name.
funny.
I've never heard that name before.
I think it's Penaniah. It's either
Penaniah?
It's either Penaniah or Penania.
Okay.
Or
would
it's
imagine-
Peninia. It could be
It's not
Peninia.
Penania.
I have no idea.
But they called her Mother Divine. And when she died in 1942, Father Divine replaced her with a 21-year-old Canadian named Edna Richings, saying that his wife had jumped bodies from an elderly black woman to a supple young white one. And nobody said anything.
You have to be pretty good at talking to do that. Especially talking to that Edna girl who's just like, so I'm who now? You're my wife. Well, it's like the spirit jumped into you and now you're my wife. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't, but I'm just happy to be someplace that's not backwards ass Canada.
Oh my! It's like the movie Little Nicky, jumping bodies.
Well, she was his personal secretary.
Oh, okay.
And so I think that they possibly had a relationship going on before Mother Divine died. And then when Mother Divine died, that's when she jumped bodies over to this other girl, Edna. And Edna got the name of Sweet Angel Divine.
Cool.
I'm just going to say, I hope that Travis understands that one day when Marcus leans over, after maybe sometime in the past, and you're like, you know, Travis, I had a dream last night that Carolina jumped into you. I don't really understand the sleeping with your secretary.
Yes. Travis, of course, a longtime producer here at the Last Podcast Network.
Now, this whole path to success for Father Divine, it was not particularly smooth, nor was it easy. But Father Divine was living proof that a man could gain and keep followers, and it could all be done relatively peacefully.
Okay.
And Jones, he saw something to aspire to, and he learned everything he could from Father Divine, who, like most cult leaders, enjoyed having his ego stroked. So he was because Jim Jones came in, he had been running a successful integrated church in Indianapolis. Right. He was a young dude, and he came into Father Divine's compound. Father Divine saw somebody that he could brag to, essentially.
But also remember this. When he was doing the beginnings of this church, it was very socialist and it was very, very personal. He dealt with his congregation very closely, Jim Jones, and he dressed like shit. Like, he dressed like hand-me-down clothes. His furniture was filled with, his house is filled with rundown furniture everywhere. He walked the walk. And that's what he's basically saying, is that, like, we shirk all luxuries.
Right.
We live a life of service and chastity and a lack of money and all this stuff. But then he walks into Father Divine's mansion, where he's got full-on harem of women with their nipples visible, like full, like crazy.
You might be adding a little bit here.
Nipples,
No, this is
just
true.
maroon.
Well, I don't know about the
discs
nipples,
everywhere.
but
You don't know about
he can infer that there were nipples out.
Okay.
Nipples. And then you walk in the house, nice furniture. He's got like a chaise lounge. Like, he's got a full couch that's just for lying because you ate too much organ meat. And then, but this is true. Father Divine dressed in beautiful clothes, beautiful suits. And obviously Jim Jones walked in there and was like, oh man, I've really been fucking this up.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. You know, with we talk about ego, retirement homes, old folks homes, and soup kitchens. He's not like living the high life at all.
No, not at all. Like he is living the true socialist ideal. Like he's walking the walk, like Henry said. But I think one of the most important things that Jim Jones learned from Father Divine was the skill of improvisation.
Because the first thing that he sat down there and they said, zip. He's like, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zip. You say zap, I say zap. I do what now? It's called zip, zap, zap. We're going to take this. We're going to play the ball. We're going to form a ball of energy. And I'm going to toss it to you, and you're going to pretend to catch it. But there's not going to be a real ball. No. It's improv. We're going to do a thing called Big Booty. We're all going to sing a song wherever it goes, big booty, big booty, big booty. A big booty. And then we all give each other numbers. This sounds stupid. Yeah, it's improv.
Yeah. Yep, that's the thing with improv. Everything is imaginary, including the money in your bank account. It's not a way to make a living. It is not. It is a tool to use.
So as I said, Father Divine's wife, Penaniah, had died of cancer back in the 40s. And this was despite Divine's promises to both her and his congregation that he was going to heal her of the cancer and everything was going to be fine. And this failure put into question whether or not Divine had any powers at all.
Yeah.
But when he found Edna, renamed her Sweet Angel Divine, he was able to say that Penaniah had just taken another form. So in essence, he had cured her because she wasn't really dead.
All right.
Excuse me, Mr. Father Divine. Now, much like Sweet Mother Divine, not to malign her at all, ugly as shit and old and fat and dumpy. So if I just close your eyes now, close your eyes, Rogerette. Close your ears. If I just smother my wife to death in her sleep, I can just replace her with their younger one and just tell everyone that she's the younger one? Yes.
That seems dangerous. Slippery slope. That's what I say.
Well, in other words, what Jim Jones learned from Father Divine was sidestep and bullshit. And in these cults, people kind of have to just go with it.
And I think that was also an Elvis song. Sidestep and bullshit. Pretty sure.
Sounds more like a Wailing Jennings song.
Yeah, that's true.
So these people in these cults, they have to lie to themselves and say like, oh, of course, like that totally makes sense. How could I have ever doubted this guy? Because as we always say with cults, to question the leader is to question every decision you've made up to that point since joining up. Scientology being the obvious example of this.
Right. Yeah, I mean, after Scientology specifically, because you put in $75,000, $100,000. So yeah, it's a horrible decision.
It's always about money, and Jim Jones has already set what we're talking about, like even just joking around, is that he did plant the seed at the very beginning of doing the money's not important. Money's not important. Just give me your money.
Right.
Just give me your money. Money's not important. I must have it though.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
an
the
interesting thing.
is that at first all that money did go back into the coffers. It did go back into these socialist principles. But as they started getting more and more money, and as they started really getting big, that money suddenly stopped going back into the socialist people's coffers. Like there was a ceiling on how much the people got. But I think when Jonestown finally went down, they found all of the different bank accounts that Jim Jones had been holding. I think it was somewhere around $10 million.
Wow.
That they had in their coffers.
And still Flavor Aid.
Still Flavor Aid.
Gatorade.
Yep. But that's how. But think about this. That's what's his name? Who's the guy who looks like a big white testicle with the hair on top of it? The billionaire.
Steve Forbes.
Oh, Sheldon Adelson?
Warren Buffett. All of them look exactly the same. But Warren Buffett gets the same breakfast sandwich every day for $2.49 from Hardee's.
Yep.
That's how billionaires keep their money.
Just a common man like you and I.
Well, as far as seeing people who had already said yes to the bullshit, Jim Jones saw that in Father Divine's people. And also in that, he saw a shortcut. He saw a very easy way to build his own congregation. See, Father Divine was getting on up in the years. So Jim's plan was to wait until Father Divine died, and when he did, he'd first convince Sweet Angel Divine that just like her, Father Divine had jumped bodies.
Brilliant.
But this time he jumped to Jim Jones.
Look at that.
That's
Why
easy.
wouldn't you want to be instead of a stinky, creepy guy who runs soup kitchens?
And he was going to do that, but unfortunately, he met the same fate as Jim Carrey did in Liar Liar, where he was
that?
cursed. Wasn't he cursed, or did he flip a coin? How did he get that curse?
His son made a
birthday wish.
That's what happened.
That's what happens when your father isn't there. If you make a wish on a birthday candle, it comes true, but in reality, it doesn't.
No, not once.
No.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, is that if Jim Jones got Sweet Angel on his side, then People's Temple would absorb the divine-run international peace mission movement, and their
rolls off the tongue.
International peace. See, that's the problem, man. That's why we know People's Temple, but we don't know the international peace mission movement. You can't even say, you trip over it every time.
We have bran muffins or bran muffins. Do you want a bran muffin or we have a bran muffin?
It's magical thinking that also works with advertising. It's about a thing that just punches.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Is there anything better than a summer evening outdoors? Enjoy your space to the fullest with new greenery from Fast Growing Trees. I love a big, thick bush. Fast Growing Trees is America's largest, most trusted online nursery, and they can send me a big, thick bush any time of the day. It arrives at work. It arrives at my car. I can pinpoint on a Google map where it is. Send me a big, thick, brown bush. And they send it immediately when they have it, because sometimes the shaver comes to town. I remember one time I ordered a cherry wood tree from Fast Growing Trees, and my God, I couldn't cut it down no matter what my father told me to do. I had to lie to him about it, and next thing you know, I became the first president of the United States of America. And even you can become the first president of the United States of America with Fast Growing Trees. Right now, get up to half off select summer planting essentials, plus get an additional 20% off your first purchase with code LEFT at checkout. That's an additional 20% off at fastgrowingtrees.com with code LEFT at checkout. Offer is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey there, everybody. Is your cell phone bill too much money? Are you getting that bill and you're like, hey, what is this? I can't believe for what? For 5G? Are you crazy right now? $100? I don't even barely got any bars when I'm just sitting in my living room, okay? You don't have to deal with that anymore. Are you ready for this? $15 a month. That's right, $15 a month on Mint Mobile. Yeah, baby. Get their wireless plan, because they're just sitting there on the T-Mobile 5G network, and it's just $15. Your whole life, you're just paying all this money every month. You're like, why? Where's it going? It's going to these phone companies that are robbing you. So go to Mint Mobile. Let them help you talk to your mom. So get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month. Go to mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when the network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabytes hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
But that opportunity would not come for a few years yet. Follow Divine still had a little life yet, and Jim was nowhere near ready to take something like that on. He hadn't proved himself yet. He was still building his team. Now, what's telling about the followers of Jim Jones is that a lot of the people that ended up being his most loyal, the ones who essentially served the Flavor Aid, had joined up in those early Indianapolis years. These were the people that saw Jim Jones at his best before the dark times, and I think even up till the end, they were still expecting that person who started soup kitchens in Indianapolis to come back.
You know what it was, I mean, in my estimation, that we'll get into later when we obviously cover Guyana, but when they talk about the congregation of People's Temple, they were a fun group of lively, sweet people. Right. And I think a lot of what kept these people in the fold was the crowd that Jim Jones had built. Like, and it's weird how far you can go for a congregation, like really belonging to your group of people. That's like one thing that us kind of people like me as a Satanist, like, you know, Satanists don't hang out. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like a fun time to hang out.
And a desire for community.
Yeah, Satanists all
crushing loneliness is what you're describing.
Yes, basically. Satanists all just sit around and correct each other on their grammar and talk about how mad they are about statues. And it is very, very difficult. I can see why you'd want to stay in.
Yeah, sure.
But it's also like being in a bad relationship where he's like, I knew him when he was good.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, a cult we've talked about this, and we talked about this in pretty much every cult we've talked about. Being in a cult is like being in an abusive relationship.
Right.
You know, and these people, you know, when you talk about like Henry talks about like the good times people, there's this fantastic resource on the internet. It's like the Jonestown Project, where it's run by an historian that's put together all of these different stories from all of these different former members of People's Temple. And I read a lot of these testimonials, and a lot of them will make these lists of like, these were the good times.
Yeah, it's like being a New York Giants fan. You just think about the Super Bowls. You just think about beating the Patriots. Meanwhile, you're just like staring at a 3-win season.
Yeah, and Eli Manning just happened to be sort of like he was sort of like a Rudy. He was like the Forrest Gump of football, where just good things just happened to him.
Boom! Henry Zabrowski, hot football takes.
Thank you.
Takes.
Thank you. I'm getting better.
I think it was good. It's accurate.
Is it accurate?
Yes, because the guy is gumpy. Let's be honest. And every time he won anything, he was ass backwards and stupid.
And it's just him going, some people's lucky. And Peyton just grinding his teeth every night. He just wakes up screaming, just being like, I was the best quarterback who ever lived.
Well, perhaps the most fervent of all of those early followers was Patty Cartmel. Ooh. She was a woman looking for an apocalypse and found it in Jim Jones.
A woman looking, that's a hell of a Tinder profile. A woman looking for an apocalypse.
Yeah, and then you spell it apocalypse.
Oh.
Well, what she would do is she would drag her family to revivals all around her area looking for that guy, that spiritual leader that was finally going to tell her what to do and was going to tell her how she could be saved. And then when she saw Jim Jones, that was it.
All right.
He was her guy.
Such a strange thing to actively seek out, but I guess.
Yeah. And this woman, she would be Jones's most devout follower. She would be unquestioning and obviously smitten with Jim Jones, even after Jim Jones later put her in charge of what he called his fuck schedule.
Oh my God. What is that about?
He said that she was too heavy for him to sleep with. She was a very large woman. He said that she was too heavy for him to sleep with. And he said, so instead of having sex with you, I'm going to give you even a better thing. You're going to be in charge of all the women I fuck.
Well, how is that a better thing?
She loved it.
I gotta say, this guy had something going for him. The same as Guy Fieri. Watch Triple D, and when he interviews female cooks, they look at him. They look through his soul. They love Guy Fieri.
It's the opposite. I feel like they're fine with it.
They
It's
love
more
him.
like, you know what surprised me was Guy's big project was him dealing with the new Food Network stars. He's very in control of what he does, and he gives very solid, constructive notes to those people.
Yes, he does. Eat, Sleep, Barbecue. Pretty good show.
Well, Jim was building his team. He also brought his mother along. She showed up and immediately got a job as a prison guard at the local women's prison.
Wow.
And over the years, she would talk to anyone who'd listen about the early days of Jimba.
It's a perfect name now that, in hindsight.
And she would die in Jonestown prior to the mass murder, still believing that her drug-addled, paranoia-fueled son had grown into a great man.
Another good thing about the Road to Jonestown by Jeff Gwynne was the way they kind of explained how churches work. Like, the more learning about how congregations are made, where it's like, again, so we went from revivals or open mics to him having his own show at his own church. But then what you want to do is get that church affiliated to a bigger network of church, like joining a union, where essentially you want to be able to join a other network of churches that then you can say are also connected to your church so that you get more legitimacy and that you can become an official pastor. So that's what he did. He was on his way to being an official pastor, but he had to get a bachelor's degree. And the other thing is, they said, it's like your whole personal life is garbage. You need to figure out, you need a better image, because he was trying to join up to a higher network. And so he's like, fuck, I got to get my mom back into play. So he hadn't talked to his moms for years. And then she showed up. She's like, oh, you're a celebrity? Let me show up. She was like a Fanning. She was like a Dakota Fanning's mom.
Is he trying to do what Ray Kroc did with McDonald's? I'm serious. Is he franchising?
That doesn't come
cult?
until later, but yeah,
Okay.
I mean that's eventually what he tries to do.
You mean one of the best businessmen to ever exist, Ray Kroc?
We're in the real estate business, not the burger business. What? That's that whole freaking stupid movie, by the way.
I love that movie.
I hate him so much.
I rooted for him,
but I
Such a
love the
prick.
movie.
And he put the real McDonald's brothers out of business.
He was the only smart person in that whole fucking.
No, they were just honest people. They just figured out how to put ketchup on 5 burgers at once, and then he just destroyed their lives for no reason.
He did what
and he
businessmen
did give
do.
them $1 million.
You have to fucking shoot for the. What do you think Oprah has done? Who will soon be president?
By the way, Hopra is what I'm calling her, because she's the only hope
So
we
brave.
got.
No, she
So
did.
brave.
We'll talk about it later.
We're marching even further towards dystopia.
Hopra.
Dystopia, that's what I call it.
Whatever you want to call it,
dystopia.
as long as Oprah's involved.
Well, as far as joining up with the bigger church went, eventually he did get there. He joined up. I think they were called the First Disciples of Christ. Eventually he did join up with them. But even more than just legitimizing him in the eyes of his congregants, it also got him that ever-elusive tax-exempt status.
Boom, boom.
That's the crazy thing. Henry, you mentioned getting a bachelor degree. How does that, like, do you think that God, if you are going to be the spokesperson for him, is like, you have to get your education first? Do you think that he cares about the college, university system?
He's not going to take an AA because anybody can get an AA. Half the people you see at a 7-Eleven have an AA. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Well, in building up his image, Jim and Marceline also started building their own family, even though he and Marceline had already failed at taking care of a child. Back in 1952, Jim Jones had unsuccessfully tried to adopt Marceline's 11-year-old cousin, Ronnie. Ronnie had come from a broken home, but had always hoped to return one day. But Jim decided Ronnie now belonged to him, and that Jim could raise him better than anyone else could. So Jim started gaslighting the kid, telling him that his mother didn't love him anymore, he could never return home, they didn't want him there, so you need to stay with me. But the kid didn't buy it. He was smart enough to see through Jim Jones's bullshit.
Papa Jim, I just want to say, number one, love what you're doing, love the house, love being here, love the bed, love the food. But I'm not a free agent. I don't know if you don't know that kids aren't just like waiting to be like adopted. They can't just be like randomly ass adopted. I need to I got a mom. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go back.
So the kid rejected him.
Yeah, and,
wow.
when Ronnie finally decided to leave, Jim took it as an ultimate betrayal, as he would anytime anyone tried to leave him over the years. He always took it personally, and he always got real fucking mean about it. I mean, later on in the later years in Jonestown, I mean, he'd put guns up to people's heads.
Right. Yep.
So the home stayed childless for another 6 years until the Joneses adopted their first child, 10-year-old Agnes.
All right.
Now, Agnes is an interesting character in this story, not because of what she did, but because of how absent she seems to be for most of it. Because Agnes just never really fit into the whole Jones scene for some reason. And all throughout the story, all you get from Agnes is pretty much, oh, and also Agnes was there.
And she was at Jonestown during the tragedy.
That's one of the saddest things about it, is that even though she was never truly a part of it, her and her brother Lou were the only 2 of the 5 Jones children to die at Jonestown.
She was a real Jan Brady. And unfortunately, I believe also Jan Brady committed suicide. I think that there's a later on Brady Bunch service where Jan Brady committed suicide, which is pretty dark.
Yeah, well, it's tough to combine families like that.
Well, the kids that survived were Jim's biological son, Stephen, which is spelled Stefan.
No.
But still spelled, because they
We're talking
had...
PH?
PH-A-N, yeah. Well, the reason why his name was Stefan was because they had adopted another little girl named Stephanie, but she died in a car crash.
Also, for a while, he was really, really nerdy, but he invented this crazy machine where he could go down into it, and he popped out. He was all cool. And so at first, it was Stefan. But as soon as it came out of the machine, he was Stefan.
Families do matter, don't they? Laura.
And the other kids that survived were the adopted sons, Tim and Jim Jr. Now, Jim Jr. was the first black child adopted by a white couple in Indiana. That white couple.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Jim Jones and Marceline,
Wow.
first white couple to adopt a black kid in Indiana in India's entire history. And along with the Korean Lou and the Native American Agnes, Jim Jr. was the last addition to what the Joneses called their rainbow family.
Honestly,
it's like the United Nations. I love
technically,
this.
it wasn't
In theory.
really a rainbow family. It was mostly a lot of beiges and browns. It looked more like a Kardashian's closet because beiges and browns are really on trend right now. A true rainbow family is on Sesame Street because you got
Yes, that
purples
is
and you got
true.
blues and you got yellows and you got oranges.
But it is another example, though, and I have to give credit here. He's walking the walk.
He is absolutely walking the walk. Yeah, he really is.
He's doing it on the surface. He's making political choices. A part of this got to be because they had an open conversation. Him and Marceline said they wanted the picture of their family.
Right.
Like when they take a picture for it to look good, which is,
Yeah.
again, when you're making these hollow choices, on some level, it's great because, just literally on very shallowly, you're doing really wonderful things. You are, and then
Right.
actively, it becomes really nice and good and forward thinking. But in the end, he's only doing it for the picture.
But he's still doing it, and also that picture matters. Look what happened when Mike Huckabee and his family was photographed together. That derailed everything.
Well, that was their own fault for wearing the matching shirts.
They also need to wear fitted better pants. Cover the gunt. You don't want to show your whole fucking fupa. I don't need my fucking a leader of the free world to have a 25-pound fupa. This isn't 1920s anymore.
So by 1961, Jim Jones had formed a pretty good crew. He had loyal followers, he was a family man, and he was gaining political influence. And with those followers' help, Jim Jones got to work on the system itself, grassroots style. And through careful manipulation of business owners, administrators, and local government officials, Jim Jones almost single-handedly began the peaceful desegregation of restaurants, hospitals, and the workforce in Indianapolis. That is true. It
Incredible.
is very demonstrable progress.
Yeah.
It was interesting how he did it too. He'd go to the businesses. He'd say, "So you're gonna desegregate your restaurants, and we're gonna." He would come in with black people. And he'd be like, okay, we're going to sit at the table that you always give me because you know me from around the community. And they say, well, no, we can't sit them. And he's just like, no, you have to sit them down and be like, well, you're embarrassing me. I'm a pinnacle of this. I'm a part of the society. I'm a big, people are watching me get kicked out of this restaurant. And then he'd go back and like, listen, we're going to make an arrangement here. You're going to desegregate this and I'm going to fill this whole restaurant. Say, okay.
Yeah.
And so he'd go away. He'd come back with half the congregation and just blow out the place. Fill it up. And he did it again and again. Yeah.
And he'd do it at like 3 p.m. He'd do it in off hours. Right. So he'd do it in the times that these people weren't making money anyway. So he'd do it in the off hours, and he would pay for all the meals of the people that he brought along.
Wow.
So everybody everybody was winning. And then after that, they would put up flyers around in the black neighborhood saying, like, this business is friendly towards you. You can go to this business, and you can go to this business and have a meal.
That's how crazy racism is. These business owners are staring at empty restaurants, but they're like, at least it's white ghosts that are filling. It's like, that's how dumb they were, or how blinded they were. It's like, fill it up, man.
Yeah.
But also remember, the temple was not paying for them. The temple was not paying for their meals. They were actually paying for their meals.
Right,
They had
of
given
course,
every single thing that they owned to the temple.
Right. Just a bizarre, like, middle manager for life. Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, is that it wasn't like Jim Jones was just doing all this out of the goodness of his heart. It was that in part, but none of this came without a price. In exchange for all that he did for his congregation, Jim Jones demanded their unwavering loyalty. And this wasn't just loyalty to him. It was loyalty to socialism as well. If a member was acting in a manner that was selfish or materialistic, then they were to be reported directly to Jim Jones himself.
And by selfish and materialistic, they mean like going to see a movie or buying a new shirt.
I see. So really kind of isolating them now.
Very much so. Now, back in those days, the punishment was pretty tame. They'd pretty much just be stood up in front of everyone and yelled at a lot.
That's a lot, though.
It sucks, but it is nothing compared to the rubber hoses and boxing matches that came later.
Kind of fun.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of fun. And in a way, it does sound fun, but
isn't most of his congregation elderly
yeah.
women?
It would be kind of fun.
Put them in a boxing ring?
Think about this. You get a couple of 80-year-old women. You tape a couple of what's it? The stove gloves, some
oven mitts.
Some oven mitts. You duct tape them to her hands, and they gotta slap each other until the first one falls. First fall win. That's a show. I would like that.
Honestly, the fact that you just said it and suggested it to the world, I believe it probably is a show right now on TLC right after my 600-pound life.
Well, it wasn't mostly elderly women. It was just
slapping grannies.
It was a large part of it was elderly women, yes, but there were a ton of people in it that were, just regular folks.
Sure.
Fighting elderly women.
I like it. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Now, surprisingly, Jim Jones, who was a legitimate leader of integration, didn't have that many enemies. You'd think he would, but he really didn't. In fact, most people seem to enjoy him. But another thing Jones learned from Father Divine is that a leader is nothing if he does not have enemies.
Right.
And since nobody else was going to take the first shot at Jones, he had to take it himself, staging what was to be the first of many fake assassination attempts.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And this first one was pretty simple. From what it sounds like, he just walked out his front door, fired a bullet in one of the pillars on his front porch, and ran back into the house yelling that someone had taken a shot at him.
God, I wish I could see the footage of that.
God, what a great liar. Because you know what it's about that lie, too, is that obviously it's a bad lie, but it's kind of fun that he just did it. And they probably watched him walk out of the house because it was filled with people. The house was both a nursing home and the house was filled with kids. He just walked out of it, shot the pillar, then ran inside. Just like, we're getting shot at. They're like, you have a gun on you. Oh, he put the gun in my hand. He must have been Nightcrawler.
Always blaming the X-Men.
And when the cops showed up, it was very obvious to them what he'd done. They're like, yeah, you just shot it, right? Like, but then when Jim went to church that Sunday, he had a new story to tell. He had a new urgency to the cause. He had a new enemy, a faceless enemy, and he had proof that God was protecting him.
And twofold. Not only did a stranger try to shoot me, but also the cops didn't do anything about it. So now you have two new enemies that you could go blink, blink. He told his whole fucking act from Father Divine.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. I can see why this is compelling.
Yeah, and not only did the cops not do anything for me, but they didn't do anything for me, just like they never do anything for you.
Right,
bam, bam, clickety clack, bringing it back around. Call back, learn how to do improv. This is technically him doing herald work.
Right. Bring it back, circle it around.
Well, Jim, at this time, also got a new enemy overseas, but this one was more of an all-encompassing, unstoppable monster.
Who's Godzilla? What's going on?
Russia!
No. Russia? How are the Russians involved?
No. This is the early 60s. Cold War's in full swing, man. And Jones, like a lot of Americans,
I miss the Cold War. Good
We're
old
about to get a
days.
new one. Don't worry, Kissel. It'll be fun.
Hide under your desk when the bomb comes. That'll work.
Oh, yeah. So have you guys had the conversation with your significant other, the planning conversation?
No plans happening in my house. Whatever. As soon as anything looks unstable, rampage.
Don't worry. Whatever is the rickety crate of bombs that they put on the raft that they push from North Korea towards LA, once it arrives to the beach, then I'll be upset. Then I'll be very scared.
Well, Jim Jones, like a lot of Americans, got pretty obsessed with the possibility of nuclear war with the Ruskies.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty soon, word around People's Temple was they had to get out of Indy, and they needed to do it yesterday.
I heard it was called Shitty Indy by somebody.
Now, I agree with Jeff Gwynn in The Road to Jonestown when he says that Jones's fear of nuclear war was genuine. He was a naturally paranoid person, and this fed into that perfectly. Now, this wasn't like Charles Manson talking about helter-skelter and the race war and all that, so he could convince a bunch of young girls to move out to the desert and ride dune buggies with him all day because that was his best possible life.
It was an incredible idea, and he fucked it up. He didn't do it right. It was all
He
it could have been
did.
great.
But this stuff, I mean, this is what InfoWars is based on.
Yeah.
This is why Alex Jones sells a tactical bath, which is evidently a weapons-grade bath soap that you can use.
I tell you
love
what, if
tactical
whatever
bath.
makes me look like him, I'm buying. I'm about to get that protein powder.
Call me a squirrel, because I'm covered in acorns. That's right. So many people are focused on where their money is today. And Acorns is the financial wellness app that cares about where your money is going tomorrow. Let Acorns work for you. You put acorns in the ground and you're going to get trees tomorrow. That's right, investments. And with the Acorns potential screen, you could find out what your money is capable of. I always do that. I'm like, I want to invest in something that I like. Let's say cheeseburgers. Okay? That's kind of hard to do. Acorns will help you find a cheeseburger that is right for you. So sign up now, and Acorns will boost your new account with a $5 bonus investment. Wow! Join the over 14 million all-time customers who have already saved and invested over $27 billion with Acorns. Head to acorns.com/left or download the Acorns app to get started. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Tier 2 compensation provided. Potential subject to various factors such as customers' accounts, age, and investment settings. Does not include Acorns fees. Results do not predict or represent the performance of any Acorns portfolio. Investment results will vary. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/left.
Summer schedules can get busy fast with camps, vacations, sports, family time. And, every single time Carmi eats a block of dark chocolate, we got to take her to the emergency room. You know how much time that takes. All right, IXL makes it easy to keep learning part of the routine in just a few minutes a day. IXL is an award-winning online learning platform that helps kids truly understand what they're learning, whether they're building math confidence, strengthening reading and writing skills, or reviewing science concepts. From pre-K through 12th grade, IXL offers personalized, interactive learning that adapts to each child's level and pace, which is great because Carmi has been really slow in biology, and Wendy has really been struggling with American history, mostly just because she doesn't agree with the way it's being taught. So it's really important. You make an impact on your child's learning. Wendy, as soon as she gets her chicken, she is ready for all of her lessons. And Carmi just really has to eat 5 or 6 bites of liver, beef liver, chicken liver, and then she can really get down to, I'm hoping this is the year she reads To Kill a Mockingbird. So really, IXL, thank you. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And Last Podcast on the Left listeners can get an exclusive 20% off at IXL membership when they sign up today at IXL.com/left. Visit IXL.com/left to get the most effective learning program out there at the best price.
All right, I know what you're thinking. I like to go banking, but I don't want to give to these big old banks all the time that cater to the 1%. Well, go ahead and get yourself hooked up with Chime. It's banking built for you, not just those rich jerks. And they got thousands of fee-free ATMs because why pay to get your own money? Chime is working for you, man. You get your Chime card, you're going to get travel perks, you're going to get into airport lounges, you're going to get those chicken thighs. You know, every time I go to an airport lounge, I get chicken thighs. And you know what I say whenever I see a plate of chicken thighs? Give me more. Chime's going to get you those chicken thighs in these lounges, all right? Sure, they could serve other types of meat, but why would you when chicken thighs are so delicious? Chime is not just smarter banking, it's the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today. Head to chime.com/left. That's chime.com/left. It only takes a few minutes to sign up. Chime is a fintech, not a bank. Banking services for Chime Card provided by Chime's bank partners. Optional products and services may have fees or charges. Stated cashback for Chime Prime only. No minimum balance required. For more information on travel perks, go to chime.com/disclosures.
Well, Jones wasn't bullshitting like Manson.
His protein powder actually has semen-killing chemicals in it. It had to be recalled. The Vitality pills on InfoWars, the ultimate irony is it kills you.
That's great. You can fucking, you don't have to have a child.
Well, unlike Manson, who was lying about all this shit, Jones had a very real fear here. He said that he had a prophetic vision, which me and you would probably just call a nightmare, that Indianapolis would be destroyed in a nuclear blast on an undetermined date at either 3:09 a.m. or 3:09 p.m. But he knew it was 3:09.
Very good specifics.
Yeah, very good specifics without being specific at all.
Yeah.
Now, because of this, Jim Jones started scouting new locations for People's Temple. And this is when he took his first trip to Guyana. And that's what I found out. It's actually pronounced Guyana, not Guyana. Yeah. Guyana. The reason why he went to Guyana was because Guyana was going to be a socialist country. It was right down in South America, but the thing is that it was still new, it was unstable, so Jones decided that the time wasn't quite right for that. But he kept it in his thoughts.
Okay.
So Jim Jones was going to Guyana as far back as 1961.
Scouting it out.
Live your dreams.
Yeah, and Jim Jones was coming up empty with ideas, but luckily, he was an Esquire reader.
Ooh, Esquire.
And in 1962, they published an article that named 9 locations in the world that would most likely escape destruction or fallout in the event of a nuclear war.
And even back in 1962, they still had Gerard Butler on the cover of Esquire magazine. He is the only person allowed on the cover of that magazine.
Strange article, How to Kill Your Followers. Esquire.
Now, even though Eureka, California, which was on the list, was just a hop, skip, and a jump away, relatively speaking, Jim decided that he'd want to take his chances down in Brazil. And so he left the church in the care of his associate pastors and took his family to Belo Horizonte.
It does sound like this. I'm not really sure. Every time I listen to like Portuguese stuff, it sounds so fun and fancy. Just like, hello, welcome to Brazil. But it's because it's a different thing than just normal Spanish. And I don't get it.
Portuguese.
It's like
totally
alien Spanish.
It's Portuguese. It's a totally different language.
I know,
German,
but it's just like Spanish.
German is the weirdest sounding Russian. You know? I've always said that.
I know enough Spanish to like, I could read it and recognize it. I could hear some and understand it. But then with Portuguese, it's like, I don't understand any of this. It's like it's like a Burger King menu in Brazil. Where you go down there and be like, I know what these sandwiches look like, but none of them are spelled with this many U's and Z's at home.
Yeah, I was on House Hunters International. It was Brazil. I'm intimidated.
Yeah.
I can't go. Everyone is so beautiful.
Yeah.
The beach. You got to have a beach bod.
We do not belong in Rio. We are not built for Rio.
I can handle Brazil because I got a big butt.
Yes, you have a big butt.
But they would use you for it.
Texas-sized stomach. You're very...
My stomach's flat.
No, it's getting there.
It's getting there.
All right.
It would just be Kissel walking around because technically you have to wear a full white linen suit and a white fedora, and you'd be walking around pointing at other elderly, seemingly foreign men, some Central European men that would tip their hat to you, and you tip their hat back and be like, "Secret safe." You secret safe with me. I won't tell anybody.
I see. You're making a Nazi joke.
Guten Morgen, meine Freunde.
I get it. Took me a second, but I just figured, it's another one of those.
Well, Jones figured that with as many poor people as Brazil had, he could pull off the same trick he'd done in Indianapolis. But when he got there, he found that the missionary business in Brazil had a bit of a glut.
Yeah, that's like me. Like I'm starting to I did some cardio work on a trampoline, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I think I'm ready from top of the ceiling aerials. Like when you go down to Brazil, the poor community of Brazils are not the same as Indianapolis.
Right.
No,
I would assume
absolutely
much more economic in need.
Well, there's a lot more economic in need, but there's also so many fucking missionaries. It's like trying to move to LA to be an actor, but not knowing anybody in LA and also not being able to speak English.
That's right. That's why I say if you're an actor, stay in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Stay there.
Big fish, small pond.
You could be the Music Man every year when they do the Music Man every single year.
Well, yeah, I mean, there were too many people there. Jones couldn't get a foothold, and he didn't even speak Portuguese.
Oh, well, yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, it's easy to speak Portuguese. You should put U's and Z's in normal Spanish.
I think that's a Polish version of Portuguese, which isn't actually Portuguese.
The only thing that Jones seemed to gain from his time in Brazil was a good yarn.
What do you mean?
A good story.
He got one.
He did.
Oh,
it's a very good story.
Yeah, and in a story he told many times over the years as proof of the kinds of sacrifices he was willing to make for the greater good, Jones said that while he was in Brazil, a diplomat's wife approached him with an indecent proposal of sorts.
I'll give you $1 million to sleep with your dog. What? Excuse me?
I'll take 50,000. Oh no.
Well, Jones said that at first he refused to acquiesce to her sexual demands, but eventually he agreed, only under the condition that she donate $5,000 to the local orphanage.
Yep. That's how good his dick was.
But again, that's good.
Yeah, well,
the kids don't care where it came from.
It's not true, Kissel.
It's not true.
You don't think that's true?
No,
Don't tell it to the kids. You just got $5,000 at a local orphanage in Brazil.
No woman ever has to offer $5,000 to sleep with a pasty-faced Sam the Eagle-looking motherfucker who shows up, and you're gonna no. She could have been with a Brazilian man with a 6-inch tongue whose hips can swivel like he's an action figure.
Yeah, that's a good point, like a He-Man action figure.
Yeah, and every time Jim Jones told this story, he never failed to make sure that everyone knew that he delivered no less than pure physical ecstasy. A job well done for a job well paid.
I believe it.
I don't think so. I think that if he had sex with like a jackhammer, like you see those big weird Russian porn star guys. They're like, pam, 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 and then it's over in 30 seconds.
Yeah, they look like a Rusev from the WWE.
Well, the point of this story was that sometimes you have to bend your morals for the greater good. And not only was it okay, but it was almost more impressive if you got your hands dirty, because in sacrificing your morals, you were sacrificing yourself, which is a very convenient idea to plant in the mind of your cult.
Well, also, the idea the individual does not matter in their society. The individual doesn't matter. What one person doesn't matter. But I think this story basically come out of the fact is that he went to Brazil and he came up cock up. Like he showed up to Brazil and then he was like, oh shit, I fucked up.
He spent 2 years there.
Okay, but he still has a wife here at this point, right?
The whole family is in Brazil. Yeah. They went from Belo Horizonte, and then eventually they went up to Rio for a little while, and they had no luck there either. So yeah, they'd been there for 2 years. And back in Indy, People's Temple was falling apart because it wasn't really the message that brought people there and kept people there. It was Jim Jones.
Right.
And without that charisma, there was nothing to hold the church together. Infighting split the whole thing up. Associate pastors took congregants elsewhere. And when Jones returned to Indianapolis, People's Temple membership was a fraction of what it once had been. And furthermore, desegregation in the city had continued along just fine without him. And a lot of people had taken up where he'd left off in the community outreach area. In other words, when Jim Jones came back to Indianapolis, he was out.
And this drove him fucking nuts.
Yeah.
The part of me, like, I honestly almost understand because he did a lot of fucking hard work. And when he showed up and the city was getting desegregated, he was trying to get back on the Human Rights Commission, which was he was doing for a while in the city. And when he showed back up, they're like, oh, we don't need you. They just took all his work and jumped with it. So he was left with nothing. And this is, to me, we've talked about this. We'll talk about this too. I really do think this was like a turning point for him when he came back.
I absolutely agree that this was the turning point. I mean, this is because the one thing that we know about Jim Jones, the one thing that we'll definitely learn a lot more later on, is that he could not accept failure.
Right.
And he could never admit that he was wrong. And in fact, you could possibly say that's why Jonestown ended the way it did, because he could not accept that he had failed.
Right.
Well, also the feelings that came up. I think that a lot of times as people, like you probably understand this, where it's like, you know, when something happens and you don't understand why you have a certain reaction. It was when for some reason I involuntarily cried to the song Baker Street. There's a song, that song Baker Street.
That one?
I cry at that song all the time. And obviously there's something in there that I don't know why. I don't know why. So when Jim Jones showed up and the temple had fallen apart, his rage spoke to him because he showed up and realized, oh, fuck, I can't stand watching anybody else share in the leadership or in the credit of this association. Like, I did so much work with my fucking blood, sweat, and tears. Also, saying that I'm wrong. Also, the fact that I'm not in control. Seeing somebody else at the pulpit made him a fucking crazy person.
I understand. Yeah, makes sense. He built it.
Yeah, he absolutely built it. And as far as admitting he was wrong, you know, like, the only reason why he was able to come back from Brazil to the United States was because JFK got shot in the fucking head. He used that as an excuse. He said, all right, things are going real bad back in the United States. I need to get back. I need to be with my congregation.
Right.
If he wouldn't have had that excuse, he might have languished in Brazil until People's Temple just disintegrated because he was not about to just come back with his tail between his legs and say, hey, guys, I'm sorry, I failed. Because in order for Jim Jones to work as Jim Jones, he had to be infallible.
And that's why the speech that he gave, or the sermon he gave after the JFK assassination, was entitled Big If True. And he went in and he really broke it all down. I think Ted Cruz's father was named.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Jones here, he failed on a lot of different levels. He failed to build a community in Brazil. He failed to keep his congregation together back home. And he failed to keep his place as a civic leader. And so from that point on, he controlled everything. And he'd always been a control freak, but now he truly had a say in every decision, no matter how small. And all this was fueled by his paranoia because, you know, control and paranoia go hand in hand. A lot of times, I know one of the reasons why I could be a control freak sometimes is because I'm a very paranoid person. I get where he's coming from.
We're really learning a lot about you guys today. Henry Zabrowski weeps like a child when it comes to 80s romance ballads, and Marcus is a control freak.
We are, though, but it's a part of what you do. Imagine this. I think that's what's important about this story, too. What is your worst quality blown up to its edges? That's what a cult leader kind of embodies. Where, like, Jim Jones' need for control, his psychopathic need for control is what's going to change everything. It's going to change the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as...
I get it, though.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Everyone failed him.
Yeah, and even more than that, not only did they fail, they'd actually taken members away from him. They had actually betrayed him.
Yeah.
Like, they had stolen people away from his congregation, and he would never let that happen again. And that anger fueled him from then on. See, before he left, he had an afternoon radio show from 4:45 to 5 p.m. on WIBC.
It was a 15-minute radio show? 15 minutes?
Well, he paid for it.
Oh.
But this was like his podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he had a podcast. Yeah,
it was daily?
No, it was. I think it was daily.
Okay.
Yeah, 4:45, 5 p.m.
I like that. In and out. Get the message in. Take it out.
Yeah, and it was mostly positive before he left for Brazil. And then when he left, you know, one of his associate pastors took it over, kept the fires warm. But when Jim Jones came back, he went straight for socialism, cut out the Bible altogether, and started hinting that he just might be a prophet. And most people did not buy that bullshit, and Jones had his show taken away from him because he was starting to get a little aggressive.
I heard he might be a prophet.
So really, it was starting to become obvious to even Jones himself that he'd worn out his welcome in Indianapolis.
Jeez.
And so he returned to the same Esquire article he'd ran to for answers before. His trusty Esquire.
Just like, is it just on the back of his toilet, just like waiting? It's like the golden Esquire. What is going on?
He check that out, and he took another look at Ukiah, California, which I'm surprised they didn't take a look at that before they went to Brazil.
So.
You'd think they'd send someone out there. But they looked at Ukiah, California, and just a little south of that, halfway between Ukiah and San Francisco, Jones found a little town called Ukiah. and a scouting mission gave intel that the location was perfect. And so Jones started convincing his followers to take their first exodus. He gave them 3 reasons to go: fear, opportunity, or guilt. If you weren't afraid of being killed in a nuclear blast, then you'd at least be living a better life in sunny California.
Ooh, I want that.
Yeah, it's nice in California.
And if you were already living a good life in Indianapolis, then it was because of Jim Jones, and you owed him.
I do.
Yeah.
It all works. I've done the math. It checks out.
This was also a complete lift from Father Divine again, because Father Divine had gotten into a lot of trouble in New York and moved the entire congregation to Philly. And also, it is the first allowance of total control to Jim Jones. As soon as you enter into a Greyhound bus with 70 other farting elderly people to go across the country, you're already fucked.
I mean, it's their first compound. They are officially into cult territory. 1965, Jim Jones took about 100 people, a little less, and moved them all to Redwood Valley, right outside of Ukiah.
If I was making this a movie, I'd have him read that article and then turn the page in Esquire, and then it would be an advertisement for big old sunglasses. And he'd buy those, and then Back in Business starts playing.
Well, that's also true, because after meeting Father Design, he started dressing better, and he started wearing the sunglasses. They were on it.
So now we're in glasses territory.
Not quite.
Not quite.
He's going back and forth with the sunglasses.
Okay.
Like, after Father Divine, he started like, hey, I kind of like these sunglasses a little bit. But we're not in sunglass territory just yet.
Maybe he's losing them a little bit.
We're about 5 years away from sunglasses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, the thing was about Ukiah is there wasn't really much for Jim Jones to actually do. See, with Indianapolis, he had a population in need. And for that matter, he had a population.
Right.
Ukiah had only about 15,000 people, and most of those people were white and wanted nothing to do with People's Temple, who at this time were mostly black.
Well, it is very isolationist. Where they moved out was in the middle of the redwood forest. They went out there, and it's gorgeous. It's really nice, but it's fucking isolated. And these are also people. These are pro-Vietnam War people. This is a very deep Trump country in Northern California that they just roll in with these buses filled with black people, and they're like, whoa.
Yeah, and these are also like black people that are looking for equal shake in the country, and all these people in Ukiah were all looking at them like and thinking like, oh well, black people who complain, they're just not grateful for what they got.
Right.
And so they were not welcome in Ukiah Valley
at all. It's a big state, California. It's not all L.A.
Yeah, and Jones, he got a few more people to come along from Indianapolis by actually setting a date for nuclear destruction, July of 1967, but that only brought about 50 more people. And to keep them there, he doubled down on nuclear destruction. He even told them that he had a special cave up in the hills all ready to go when the inevitable happened, not unlike Charlie Manson's hole in the ground where his followers would go to wait out the race war.
All right.
What was in the hole in the ground? It was an underground city, right?
Yeah, it's like don't you worry. You get down there, there's a 7-Eleven down there. I haven't checked it out personally, but I heard the taquitos are fresh every other day.
Ooh, roller taquitos.
Caves have a big hold on the human mind. There's something about
primal. It's in our DNA.
It's been used forever. The idea of we'll go hide in a cave, and it sounds kind of fun because in my mind I imagine Looney Tunes. I imagine cuddly bears in a cave.
I imagine the Herculoids.
What are those?
But you know what the reality of a cave is? It's slimy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not great. It's not dry in a cave.
No,
it's wet.
Yes, bugs eating dung. I hate it.
But you know who didn't have a cave?
Who?
Indianapolis.
They didn't?
No caves in Indianapolis.
Oh, man.
You have to have a cave installed.
Maybe there's an adult entertainment club called the Indianapolis Cave. Do not go.
But even though the people who came with Jones had devotion, the one thing they didn't have was money. You know, sure, they gave everything they had, and a lot of them sold their houses and gave all the money they made to People's Temple when they moved, naturally, but that wasn't enough. So Jim Jones shifted his recruiting pool from black and poor to rich and white. After all...
what a shift. Really 180'd that one.
And knew how to do it. Because after all, man has a compound to pay for now.
Absolutely.
So Jones started recruiting those people who had become disillusioned with society, educated people who wanted something more fair and just.
Sure.
These were people who didn't really have problems, but they recognized that others did, and they wanted to help. because none of these people were idiots. You know, the black members needed help and they got it, and the white members wanted to help and they gave it.
Right.
And in the process, they became a truly integrated community, and for a time, they were happy.
Oh, that's good.
Well, because again, when they showed up, these were the fun times. Like the beginning, they kind of talk about this. Like people afterwards, members of the cult were saying like this was probably the happiest they were because it was this like it was really hand to mouth. Like they didn't have a lot to eat, and they were not the most physically comfortable, but everyone was kind of having a good time. Like they sang in a bus together across the fucking country. You have to really like a bunch of people. When we sit in a airplane going across the country, we sit silently in the seats, and just staring at our phones.
You can look at people and be like, I think he's thinking about talking. And if he fucking opens his mouth on this damn plane, I will freak out. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it was also very small at this time. Like, this is before the scene got big.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, this is when it was cool. This is when it was cool.
Well, the thing is about these members is that everyone who came in was carefully screened. They didn't just let anybody in. Yeah.
Extreme vetting, huh?
Extreme vetting. But like what would happen is prospective members would be invited to a function and would be kindly interrogated without these people even really knowing what was happening. This one guy said that he was like, it's always, they get taken to a second location where he would meet up with one of these people at with People's Temple at like a service or something like that and be like, hey, we're going to go to this sock hop that we're chaperoning. It's like a teenage, dance party. So why don't you come along with us? Just hang out. Like, oh, okay, cool. I'll go and hang out. And then they go and hang out there and they talk to him a little bit further. And then if they pass the test, if they gave Jim Jones the okay, then Jones would swoop in and scoop him up with a highly connective personal conversation. It's like how people talk about with like Bill Clinton. Like as Bill Clinton, they say he can talk to you in a room full of people and make you feel like y'all are the only two people on the face of the planet. Jim Jones was exactly like that.
Also, remember, this shit's being done by kindly 70-year-old women.
Right.
So they're talking, you're like, oh, you got to try some of the cookies. You've got to. I've made them at home. Also, what are you going to do in the event of a nuclear apocalypse? You got the fucking stones to have the AK to fight the secret police? And you have to be like, whoa.
I like that they sort of transitioned to Dr. Evil at some point in the conversation of giving cookies to the nuclear apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, it was older people as well, but, it was also like a lot of young people.
Right.
Like these were all like college-age people. These were people in their like 20s and 30s, and this was like the mid-60s. So a lot of people, they're doing that whole like back to the country type of thing. It's like, we're getting out of the cities. The cities are corrupt. They're full of racism and crime, and there's so much injustice there. We got to get back to the country, and we got to get back. We got to start over, essentially. And that's what Jim Jones offered a lot of these young people.
And he had to do it. They did have to start over.
Yeah,
or
and
he had to anyway.
Jim Jones, he was very smart about who he let in. People had to have the right attitude, but that's not to say they didn't let in people who could be considered undesirable, because they actually needed those people too. They took in drug addicts, troubled teens, criminals. They helped them clean up their act, and they turned their life around for them. And Jim Jones used those types of people to his advantage, because those people felt like they owed Jim Jones their lives, because in a way they did.
That's exactly what Scientology does with Al-Anon and Criminon and all of those side groups, is that how many people did Scientology get simply because they got them clean.
Right. It's also exactly what Jigsaw does.
Yes.
Because he's not about torture. It's about learning a
lesson.
Yeah, and Jim Jones, he used that loyalty to essentially turn these people into soldiers, eventually giving them uniforms and arming them.
Wow.
Yeah, because these people were, they were the drug addicts. These were like the hardened street people.
Arm them.
Yeah. Yep. Well, these were people who had a more violent past.
Right.
So he took them and he molded them into essentially weapons that he could use.
Are you susceptible to impulsive thinking? Here's a gun.
Yeah, and these people, the people that he took off the streets and molded them into something else, molded them to essentially weapons, those are the ones that were lining the pavilion in Jonestown.
Oof.
These were...
That's right. I always forget this ends in like unbelievable pools of blood and mass tragedy.
That's why it's an incredible story. It's because it goes from, and it just shows... anything built on a foundation of lies is going to lead to bad shit. It's just no matter what the lies are, no matter what you think it is that you're headed towards,
Right.
if you live a life filled with on that kind of shaky foundation, it's going to sink.
Yeah, not just lies, but allowances as well.
Right.
You know, like being
And now
able.
they seem to be giving him a lot more.
They're giving him a lot more, and there is a lot more to give. As far as like arming people goes, like it's not to say that Jim Jones was militant. He wasn't, at least at that point. Now, the closest they got to like militancy at this point is that in Redwood Valley, they trained a bunch of teenagers in like a little like fun militia thing, and the teenagers' job was when the bombs dropped, they had to get all the old people up to the cave.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's the same thing with Om Shinrikyo. How much fun that must have been at doing the drills. Because at some point you're feeling it, and it's like the Goonies. It's like Stranger Things. You go, these kids go out there with flashlights. They're in charge of the old people. If they don't fall in line, you know they were given a secret or directive, just being like, you can hit them with the flashlight. Like if they struggle, you can start pop them a couple times.
Well, the kids didn't have guns, but they all had crossbows.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's awesome. It's fun. It's like the Dune Buggies. You have to have activities. It's like doing group tripping. As long as there's fun activities, pool noodles, like one of those big bouncy flat things that you jump off the crane. You know, like those big like safety bags that you jump off the high dives onto.
I've seen people have fun on those.
Well, I think with cults, it's important for us to also talk about the good times. It's important for us to tell you that, like, no one knows they're joining a cult.
Right.
Like, no one knows. Like, no one joins these things and think, like, wow, this shit is awful. I'd better stick around.
Well, now you got me thinking Chumbawamba. I'm thinking tub thumping. You got to think about the good times.
Yeah, you never walk into it thinking, like, this is awful, I'm going to stay.
Right.
You always go into it because people are happy and people are having a good time.
Right.
You know, and then eventually later on, that's when the hate comes. That's when the paranoia comes. And Jim Jones was great at injecting that into his followers in very subtle ways.
It's like if we keep drinking the way we're drinking until we're like 60. You know what I mean? Because then it's sad alcoholism, and now we're a good time guys. We have good times.
I mean, we're on the cusp here. All of us are kind of staring down 40 pretty hard.
Yes.
Oh, it's becoming a real issue for me. Yes. Yeah, I'll tell you that.
Well, as far as taking the paranoia down to the micro area, every once in a while, Jim Jones would say that everyone in the congregation had entered what he called an accident cycle.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And that meant that everyone had to be extra careful because Jim Jones had a vision that one of them was going to get into a deadly accident. And the only way they could avoid it was if they believed in him.
If someone could only market to the population, maybe like dummies, like crash test dummies.
Dummies.
You know, just someone to inform us but entertain us when it comes to driving safety.
Well, the person to take the fall for one of those accident cycles was a man named Whitey Firestone.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's what happens when you name yourself after a racial slur.
and a tire. Hi, everyone. My name is Cracker Goodyear.
All right.
I love Cracker
work?
Goodyear. I like
Does
a
that
Cracker
work?
Goodyear. I trust somebody named Cracker Goodyear.
Absolutely.
Whitey was one of Jim's trouble members. Seemed like Whitey was always fucking up in one way or another and was always being called up front for a good tongue lashing.
Uh-oh.
I feel really sad about Whitey Firestone because he reminds me of Philip Seymour Hoffman from Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
He's just always the bad luck dude. He's
Right,
just always
right.
around, like he's just kind of a bummer and he fucks shit up.
yes.
idiot.
Oh, man. R.I.P. I'm going to give an R.I.P. out there.
Well, one night after a particularly rough dressing down in front of the whole congregation, Whitey accidentally drove his entire family over a cliff.
Quote unquote accidentally. I honestly do believe that it was like, it's not an actual suicide, but it was like a thing. Like he just kind of willed it.
Yeah, I think it was with Whitey Firestone. I was like, I'm fine with this. Like he can kind of let his driving hands get a little looser because they were in a valley,
Yeah,
so
of
there were
course,
a
that's what I'm
ton. Like these roads were actually
You think he
very
did it on
dangerous.
purpose?
Well, I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I think he was
could've-
fine with it.
Hey, family, you ever see just how easy it would be to just jerk the wheel? Yeah, Daddy. And I'm going to say for one as the son of the group, none of us like the talk.
Well, after they went over a fucking cliff, Jim Jones heard about it. He sped down to the scene, climbed down the ravine, and found the car crushed. And one of Whitey's kids did actually die in this accident.
Oh, I thought they all died. I assumed they all had passed away.
No, one died, but the rest survived.
No, they got to live in sadness. They literally he lived in a straight up 2 like arm slings and a leg cast, just being like, I just shouldn't be the driver. Guys, whatever's going on here, I should probably be riding in the back. You guys going to get ice cream? No one takes me on trips to the city anymore. But
sad life for poor Whitey.
Yeah, but Jim Jones, when everyone else survived besides that just that one kid, Jim Jones said it was because he healed them. Oh. And that gave Jones a double hit. First, his prophecy came true, and he got to heal people in the same swoop.
What did the kid do that died? What did he do to piss off Jim Jones? Why
it was an accident cycle.
Yeah, accident cycle.
All right.
But it makes people, that sort of thing makes people even more afraid.
Right.
Because that's the thing, is that now your kids are in trouble as well. Your kids are also in danger because Whitey didn't believe, because Whitey wasn't good enough at being a socialist. He didn't die, but his kid did. So if you don't believe, then your kid could die as well.
I don't think we need to keep rubbing it in about how much I don't believe. I can't scratch my own dick and balls. So if someone could just please bring the soup to me. You know I got to drink it with a goddamn straw. You guys are just... I'm getting sick of this.
But that whole thing almost backfired on Jim as well, because one of his most devout followers, a woman named Joyce Sweeney, died in a car wreck on the way home from a late People's Temple meeting. And Jim spun this one, though, by saying that he'd in fact had a vision, and he had seen it coming, and he had warned Joy. But he told her that before she drove off, that she needed to stop and meditate for 2 minutes. But she just brushed him off. And because she did not listen, she was dead. So you'd better do every stupid little goddamn thing that I tell you to do if you don't want to end up like Joyce.
Oh, my God.
I'll tell you what, anybody, nothing says rebel like a 60-year-old woman named Joyce.
Yeah.
Nobody shirks the rules more than elderly Joyce, who then said, fuck your meditation, I'm going to go catch some dick. And then she hopped in her motorcycle and vroomed her way to heaven.
Yep, James Dean had nothing on her.
Well, those little bullshit things. I mean, that's how Jim Jones got even more control over him.
Right.
Because meditating for 2 minutes, and say, he told him, if Joyce would have just meditated for 2 minutes, she'd be alive right now. But because she didn't, she's dead. So if I have something stupid that you don't understand, that you think you shouldn't be doing, or that you think is an idiotic thing to do, you better do it, or you could die.
You're thinking about it? Don't think about it.
Yep. Yeah, so again, he flipped it and reversed it, and he gained even more control. But actually, for the most part, all the supernatural stuff at this time in Redwood Valley was taking a back seat. Since the recruitment was focused almost solely on disaffected whites, socialism and equality took the lead.
Okay.
But that's not to say all that supernatural shit disappeared altogether. One of the things that seemed to be an almost universal opinion among former People's Temple members was that Jim Jones was anything you wanted him to be.
Okay.
I mean, even Jim Jones himself said that.
What if I want him to be a gremlin and I feed him after midnight?
It would be cute. That would be cute to do, but it's not going to physically happen, Kissel.
Is there anything else you want him to be?
Ooh, no, just a gremlin.
Yeah, it's just, you have to have more imagination. You have to have more imagination.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Critter ball.
Well, if you wanted Jim Jones to be a socialist leader, you got it. If you wanted a supernatural daddy, you got it.
Don't Nixon this whole thing. God, daddy is the...
Daddy.
Oh, I hate
Daddy.
Oh, Jim Jones, you're my daddy.
Oh, I'm going to vomit.
When they got to Jonestown, they called him Dad.
They did,
Yeah.
And father. They called him father. Formally, they called him father, but comfortably, they called him daddy.
Well, if you listen to the death tape, I mean, a couple of people, because they go up and they give these testimonies of why they should die, and they refer to Jim Jones. They casually refer to him as Dad. I followed Dad down here.
Oof.
But, and speaking of that, if you wanted God himself from Jim Jones, you got that too.
And you know who said the same shit was Charles Manson.
Yeah.
If you look up at me, you see God. You look down at me, you see the devil. You look straight at me, you see yourself. They understand what they do. And later on, his his sermons are going to get so rambly because there are thousands of people in the congregation, and he's just saying like a paragraph for each person that's there for a different reason. And so people just don't remember the shit that didn't pertain to them. They just remember the stuff that they agreed with.
So he's got a whole quilt work going on here, different needs for different people, and he addresses them.
Yeah, a huge quilt work, and it doesn't matter what contradictions he has.
I have to say, though, I don't think anyone referred to Charles Manson as daddy, because that is, he does not exemplify fatherhood.
No, he's not a paternal figure in any way whatsoever.
No. He probably even went, ew, ew, don't call me dad, ew.
Well, in this way, like Jim Jones is a politician, and that he can contradict himself so many different times.
Yeah, like a liar, or like all politicians are professional liars.
Yeah, exactly. Like he can sit there and contradict himself, but as soon as the follower, the person that believes in him, the person that follows him, as soon as he talks to them, as soon as he talks about their problems, what they believe in, then they forget about everything else. They don't think about the contradictions at all. All they think about is that he's got my back.
And I'll put this as Kissel, and I'll put it to you, on the politicians as liar scale, I'd give you a solid, like, you did good. I'd give you 7.5.
Yeah,
you never said anything.
That's why I only got 6,000 votes.
Yep.
That's the ultimate irony. But that's the thing. Once you understand people they need their own interest addressed, and at the end of the day, we are all in it for our own best interest, a base human quality. That's what you play on. So once you understand that, you can really do anything.
And there's another side to that. The other side to that is that all of these people that were in that room, even though they may have been there for different reasons, they all had the same enemy. They all had one person. They all had one cause to fight against. Well, it's actually a few different things, but you can roll that entire ball into one word. The system. Because he railed against the CIA, the FBI, the government, racist, bigots. All of this was the system.
Right.
Yeah. And all of that could also be balled up in one other word, Satan. That Satan was the system. The system was Satan. So that's
always
how he
maligning him, always attacking him. He never gets to tell his side of the fucking story. And again, if he's bad to them, he can't be all that bad, really. You know what I mean?
I don't like it. I hear he's part of the system.
Oh, he's not. Ooh, I'm gonna put up a statue.
Well, that's how. Yeah. Well, he could also bring in both sides by saying Satan. Is that if he said Satan, then he brought in the Bible thumpers.
Right.
But he could also bring in everyone else that wasn't religious. Bring them in by saying yes, it is Satan, and then turn around to them on the other side of his face and say I'm talking about Satan. It's just like a metaphor, right?
Right.
And then you turn over the Bible thumpers and say the Satan of the Bible, and then turn back it was the exact same thing, but he was just saying it in two different ways, and everyone was buying it.
He's the mayor from A Christmas
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes, Nightmare Before Christmas. The mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas. Great character.
But even though all this was going on, People's Temple struggled in stagnation for about 3 years. Small growth was happening, but it was very slow going. It wasn't until another assassination happened that Jones saw another opportunity. Because this man knew how to take advantage of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
So about 2 weeks after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, one of San Francisco's biggest black churches held a memorial service open to the public. Jones caught wind and brought damn near his whole congregation in a caravan of busted up cars and vans.
He knew his people really, really well. And because he had such an intimate relationship with them, and he knew that, number one, they would love this, and it was a part of the community. And I actually think it was twofold, is that he knew that it would help him down the road, and it also was a thing that he wanted to be in the center of. It was a huge thing. He wanted to be in the pictures at a massive memorial for Martin Luther King.
I was thinking also maybe Bobby Kennedy, but I guess it was MLK. Huh?
Bobby Kennedy was a whole different thing for them.
And that plays perfectly into what you're talking about with the system, because the rumors of Hoover's FBI being involved, the CIA killing him, that started right away.
Yeah,
look, COINTELPRO was real. Yeah. Then all that got vindicated in the end.
Yeah.
And the people of People's Temple they were genuinely compassionate. They were genuinely moved and saddened by the death of Martin Luther King Jr. They skewed a lot heavier towards the white side. So when they showed up at this service, they stood out, but they were also genuine, and they were compassionate, and they were welcomed as brothers and sisters in God. And after the service, Jim Jones and his people started talking about all the good they were getting down to up in Ukiah and invited everyone there to visit anytime they wanted. So the San Francisco people figured, why the hell not? And when they got there, they were met with a two-pronged attack of racial equality and actual religion, along with a few healings thrown in for good measure.
It's strange to think about like weaponized goodwill.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Well, that's
That's how you, wow, that's a damn good way of putting it.
That's what it is that he realized exactly that he got exactly what he wanted. And then every single time he flipped somebody, he got pleasure out of it.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of what we're talking about here is like with allowances that we talk about with serial killers. For him, it's the slow acquisition of humans.
Yeah, and he'd throw in a few healings as well, as mostly mind-reading type of healings.
Did he ever get to Whitey, or he just kind of stayed in envelope?
Well, I think they put Whitey in the back.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I don't think
My
Whitey
catch is really starting to itch. If somebody can get me a hanger, you cannot just pretend like I'm not here. Guys.
Yeah, but this time with the mind readings, it wasn't Jim Jones that was eavesdropping on the crowd for information. It was Patty Cartmel.
Ooh.
Yeah, she'd go around the crowd, she'd listen in and report back to Jim Jones with pertinent details. Now, you might think all of this shit might raise a few eyebrows in the new non-religious types that People's Temple had just recruited, but they were told again, and they believed again, that all this was just a means to an end. We just had to get people in. Yes, we have to lie to them. Yes, we have to do these healings. Yes, we have to have a Bible-centric service this time and every time these people come. But it's all for the cause. It's to get them in. And then once they get in, then we can get the real work done.
His constant reasoning was numbers.
Yeah.
He's like, we can't make real change unless we have the numbers that we need. In order to put butts in the seats, which is true, which is honestly, we've seen it on our own tiny level as a podcast, is that like you don't get to, until you have like the numbers, you could show up to a meeting and be like, well, this many people follow me. Like you can, it's easier to give that person money that way. His is also about power though.
Yeah, and can you imagine if Dave Chappelle's last special had an empty audience? It wouldn't have quite the same impact.
So after the San Francisco crowd was impressed with the message, Jones repeated what had worked so well in Indianapolis and brought back the notion of a church where you get something now. Woo-hoo. He started doing the exact same thing where, he would, they would help them out like government forums, programs, getting them jobs, all kinds of shit, like actually making their lives better. And because of all this, People's Temple started to grow again. At their lowest point in 1966, they had 86 members. By the end of the 60s, they had 500.
Wow.
By 1973, they had almost 3,000.
It's almost like they're about to serve over 1 billion burgers. This guy is Ray Kroc and it all over town.
Again, smart businessman, great lover, knew what McDonald's needed to get to the top.
Don't want to. That is the worst love story in movie history, by the way.
It's pretty great.
What's it called? The Founder? That movie?
The Founder. I just watched it like this weekend. It's great.
That love story is disgusting. Ray Kroc is disgusting, and it's an affair.
Yeah, the love story is awful. Ray Kroc is a terrible person.
Thank you.
He was incredibly necessary. Those guys would have been nothing without him. They didn't know. They were squandering everything.
The only good thing about Ray Kroc and McDonald's is it is slowly killing our president.
Right.
And I don't know if I can legally say that, but that is the long game for Ray Kroc.
Oh, come on. Ray Kroc, and this man is responsible for the way the world is.
I know, it's horrible.
It's awful.
The world's horrible.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Is that Ray Kroc, I'm talking to Henry here. Ray Kroc is not a good man. Ray Kroc is the fucking
Henry
devil.
loves him, Marcus.
He's very important. I see what he says as he did his job. He was around all these people that were pathetic. They didn't know how to make their business good. He went in there and they should be thankful for the money that they got.
And this is what Jim Jones told his followers as well. Be thankful for what you got.
They were hardworking, honest Americans.
Honest Americans.
They didn't have the guts to take it to the top. And sometimes you got to have the chutzpah to really kick it to the next gear.
I did not realize you were such an evil capitalist.
Well, now I kind of like it.
Ding, 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 ding. So it's the coins falling out of my shirt.
Well, those members, when they were first starting to build up their membership, those people were hard fought. Now, once People's Temple had decided you were right for them, once they had chosen you, they would do everything they could to get you and keep you. There was this one girl, she told this story of how she'd arrived at People's Temple after escaping from an abusive home, and she'd been taken in by a couple. Now, she said she was grateful, but she wasn't sure that she'd stick around just yet. And she'd written letters to her family, but she hadn't gotten any replies, so she started drifting towards Jim. And one night, he cornered her and told her personal information that she hadn't even told her host. So as far as she was concerned, Jim Jones was a mind reader. And, you know, these people were very kind. They had taken her in. So she joined People's Temple. It was only later that she found out that her host family had been stealing her mail, reading it, and passing along the information to Jim Jones.
Talk about the system.
It's like the movie The Visit. It's like one of those things you meet with. It's like all of these super cute old people, and they're just stealing your fucking mail. Because that was what she was saying. She was sitting in there, and she thought that her family had left her. Basically, what Jim Jones did is what he couldn't do with Ronnie, where he just cut her off and made sure that she couldn't get any word from her parents. So she thought that she was just set adrift, but she was getting letters and sending them back and forth, and they just kept it away from her.
Oh, that's very sad.
Yeah, and Jim had a name for this, for doing shit like this. He called it situational ethics.
I honestly think, Kissel, you said the same thing to me about 4:30 in the morning in a hotel somewhere in the middle of this country. We were both 19 bourbons in. And you're like, situational ethics, as you were like taking stuff from the hotel and putting it in your bag.
Well, that is actually fine, because you're paying for the room and what's inside of it other than the bed and, of course, the television.
Yeah, and these followers, they went along with it. And they also started going along with other crazy shit that Jim Jones was starting to say. In 1968, he started claiming that in past lives, he'd been Buddha, Jesus, Gandhi, and somehow both Lenin and Marx.
Oh.
Well, it's because he's working on the Scientology timelines where you could be two people at once.
Okay.
Yeah, and these sermons, which People's Temple, by the way, they didn't call their sermons or services or anything like that. They called them meetings.
Okay.
And these meetings would go on forever. And most of the time, the doors would be locked, so nobody could take any sort of bathroom breaks. And these were, of course, for people who'd already joined. They didn't do this shit for people that were just visiting. And these meetings would go on for so long and would be so exhausting that one former member said he saw a grown man pass out and piss himself in the middle of one.
A grown man.
Grown man pass out, piss himself.
Well, and also remember, so in order to keep people focused, he wouldn't have chairs. So you have to stand or you have to sit on the ground because he wanted people completely enraptured. But what he would do is he would stand behind the pulpit. Number one, what he had was a couch that no one else could sit on, that he would lay on during the meetings, and he was also allowed to go to the bathroom if he wanted to. But in the very beginning, in order to keep himself and keep up his image, he would have a special apparatus rigged up behind the pulpit.
A catheter type thing.
I think it was just a bucket.
Yeah.
He had a bucket. A special apparatus. It's a bucket.
He used to
I think he
piss
just
in a
pissed
bucket.
in a bucket.
Okay. That's also reasonable.
Pissed in a bucket that was behind a pulpit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But let's just hear an excerpt from one of these Redwood Valley meetings. This is just the sort of shit that he would do to fill time.
I was thinking the other day, just a few services back last week, one of my brothers came to me to show you that there's nothing lost in this consciousness. My brother John back there, you were concerned about something that was lost. You were so concerned, and you lost it miles and miles away. Well, my spirit retrieves it for you today. Come and take it. There's nothing lost. I just wanted it every now and then to show you that it can be done. Here it is. No one else was with you, and yet I know where you lost it, and I retrieved it. Shop work. Keep you mesmerized with the socialist nation.
It's like Rage Against the Machine with ragtime music. and a preacher.
So
It's
much
very
fun,
interesting.
honestly. I wish I could do a lot more on this show of being like, and that's when her pussy fell off, and oh, yeah, we found it in the river. We found it in the river. Like, I want to go a lot more transitioning to gospel songs.
Yeah, and that whole,
What was he even talking? I mean, I heard socialism in there.
If that didn't read it all, then what he was doing is that he was just talking about how one of his members had lost something, and he found it.
He found it.
He found it. And,
Okay.
he's like, and here it is. And it was like a card or something like that. And then the person came up and, got it from him. And he was like, yeah, I've got a whole lot of things that I found. I just found that. I just found it and I gave it to him. I got a whole lot of other things that I found. But I'll give it to you after the service. But until then, I just mesmerizing you with socialism. Oh, Lord, we gotta go.
You jump right
So
into
this small little miracle, for them quotations, miracle, is just as big as anything else.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if that's a miracle, Natalie does like 5 miracles a day for me. I've slowly slid into the father's disease, every dad's disease, where it's just been like, where are my keys? Where is my bullshit? She just finds
Marcus,
them.
don't tell Henry that father's disease is alcoholism.
God.
And
Oh,
so
God.
don't tell him that he's not a father just because he has a dog.
I am a
That's
daddy.
up for debate.
I am a daddy. She needs me.
Well, Jim Jones also started giving bizarre orders. He'd order people to drink a glass of warm water mixed with vinegar every morning.
Was he just thinking like, do you think they'd do this dumb shit?
Yes.
What if I
yes.
say this? If they do this,
That's
Yes.
exactly
and
what
I think
it was.
I honestly think that a part of it, yes, is that it's subtly indoctrinating them. I think it's half on purpose, half not. But I think every single time he did it, boop, the penis would shift. Every single time somebody would do something completely against their will, he would love it, even if it's something dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
And this is just tests to see
Right.
how what they would do, how far they would go. And it started off really small, like shit like that, like warm water and vinegar. It's like, oh, you did that? Great. In 1969, he started taking it further. One guy who left the cult in 1970 said that he'd been present at one of the first poison tests.
uh-oh.
At a small gathering, Jim Jones served lime Kool-Aid, not Flavor Aid.
Okay.
Oh, he
Finally,
saved the good stuff for his private group.
Yeah. He toasted everyone. They all had a drink. Then Jim Jones told them that it was poison, just to see how everybody would react. Then he'd watch everyone, see, okay, that person freaks out. That person takes it calmly. That person doesn't believe me and thinks that they're just kidding. And then he'd laugh and say like, nope. It was all just a test. I just wanted to see what you people would do. Now everyone go to bed. Have fun.
And this is my friend Ashton Kutcher. He came all the way from Los Angeles. Ashton, tell them what it was like on the 70s show. Lord, no, where you gotta take them down to the river. Now this is the 7th song about rivers that we will sing today.
That 70s show is the closest my hometown ever had a TV show to having a TV show based off of it. It's called Point Place, and I'm from Stevens Point.
Wow.
And it's Wisconsin.
That's
And I'll mention Mimi Bobeck once again. Also from Stevens Point, Wisconsin, from the Drew Carey Show.
Yeah, Jim Jones would do these Kool-Aid tests, and sometimes he'd do it with champagne, but he'd do it again and again and again over the years, preparing everyone for that final moment. And it wasn't like that last moment everyone thought like, oh, this is just another test. No, they knew it was real.
Right.
Like they looked around. They saw everyone dying. I mean, because there was a long line.
Well,
they saw
by then
all
things
these
had gotten
kids
really
dying.
serious. By then they'd already fired weapons. We'll get to that. By then they've already been militarized, and Jonestown was pretty intense.
Oh, yeah.
They
Brutal.
knew it wasn't. They knew it was real that time, but by that time they'd gotten used to the idea.
Right.
They'd
So he's grooming them here.
He's grooming them. He'd been doing that for almost 10 years by the time Guyana came.
Wow.
But even though Jim Jones was doing all this wacky shit, people were still joining in droves. But while things were going pretty fantastically for People's Temple, things weren't going so great in the Jones household.
It can't all be awesome, okay? It's always like your career's going great, your house is not going good. I mean, like, there's always something, and
Always
it's hard
something.
to keep a personal life going when you're a cult leader.
Now, outside of Marshall Applewhite, whose whole cult seemed to be built so he could get the thought of fucking dudes out of his head, cult leaders across the board tend to be obsessed with sex on some level or another.
Well, Applewhite, I don't think he ever got it out of his head there. They cut off.
No, I don't think he did.
Yeah.
I don't think he did. He did cut his fucking penis off.
Yeah, I think that means it's on the forefront of his mind.
Yeah, he did cut his dick and balls off so he wouldn't think about dudes anymore.
Just imagine being that angry at part of your body.
I have been upset at it, but it needs to be there. I have to have it. It's the only thing I can trust.
Well, for some cults, like Children of God, sex was the whole point.
Oh, yeah, they were gross.
Yeah, good, Kissel. You're right. They were gross. Oh, how icky it was. It definitely was super icky, sticky over there.
Henry. I'm sorry I don't have a callous soul like you do. I'll still say it was gross.
Yeah, everything centered around sex to a disgusting degree, and all the members took part, again, to a disgusting degree. For other cults, it was more about gratifying the man up top and the man up top alone, and People's Temple was definitely more of this variety. Now, we all know that Jim Jones had always been a horny little devil.
Yeah, he has been. He is a naughty little pappy, isn't he? A hot daddy. You know what it is, too, about the sexual impulse for me is like it's very much so. It's almost like cult leaders or even a more practical version of a serial killer, where it's very similar to the Leonard Lake, Charles Ng keeping a woman in a castle, like keeping a woman in a jail cell to do whatever, or like how Jerry Brudos wanted to keep women in a cave so we could do whatever they want for them, but they didn't have the work ethic to create an organization where you can do just that, where it's actually like an 11-year-old's boy impulse of being able to just like take clothes off of toys and shit.
Mm-hmm. Different kind of 11-year-olds.
You didn't do that?
I'm Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I put clothes on them, weapons.
But you didn't. So you didn't have
wrestlers.
Yeah, but you never had any girls around, so you didn't have any Barbies around.
No, we had some Barbies around.
So you never stripped the clothes off the Barbies and kissed
we didn't
breasts.
have that many Barbies around. No, I guess there wasn't a lot of girls. We did have a missionary couple stay with us. They had a daughter. But we would play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Barbies.
Mm-hmm. When you say missionary couple, I just imagine they're always inside each other.
No, they're not. They were helping.
And they're just riding. The woman's riding him around like he's a horse. But
I understand it's a very common idea.
Well, speaking of sex like that, during sermons, Jim Jones would casually just talk about how he'd bang Marceline up to 5 times in a single night.
All right.
Such was the power of his virility.
Okay.
But in reality, their sex life was almost non-existent.
Are you telling me a man is lying about how good he is in bed?
Yeah.
Shocking.
Weird.
See, Marceline, through no fault of her own, had a bad back, which, by the late 60s, had made sex impossible. And that's when Jim Jones took a preacher's daughter named Carolyn Layton as his lover, who is described in The Road to Jonestown as having had a, quote, grim Pentecostal essence.
Yes. Well,
I want to marry her. I love that.
He picked this lady because of her qualities. It is very similar to L. Ron Hubbard. With her, again, same thing. The reason why he picked Marceline, it wasn't necessarily like she was the hottest of the group or she was the most willing. She was the one with the skills that he needed to back him up.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't just replace Marceline as a lover. She replaced him as what, Patty Cartmell's son might call Jim's go-to guy.
All right, go-to guy.
Yeah, because I think it's because Jim knew that Marceline didn't have the stones for what he actually wanted to do. Because Marceline, she was a good woman.
But you know what? I'm just going to throw this out there. It also takes courage not to kill 900 people.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like, she didn't have the evil stones. Because there are good stones and there are evil stones. And what Marceline had, she had the good stones.
All right. You're a doctor, aren't you? I knew it this whole time, Marcus.
Like Marceline, she don't got like evil stones. Like Marceline, she got like good rocks.
Yeah, Joe. Tell him how the stones work. Yeah, you know how it goes. He's a doctor, which means he goes around grabbing girls by the breast saying, hey, you want a free mammogram? Oh, I've seen that.
I like your deflecting that, this is how Italians speak, not Texans. Very interesting.
Well, Marceline, as far as like having the courage to stand up,
you're not going to say the stones again?
No, I'm going to say the stones. I'm going to say the courage. I'm going to say the courage because I'm about to turn into something serious here.
Sorry,
I got a serious point to make here.
All right, serious.
All right. You fuckers ready?
All right.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, Marceline, she had the courage when the Flavor Aid was being passed out. She had the courage to stand up and try to stop it. She had to actually be restrained when they were giving it to the kids. And we have evidence of it. It's in the tape.
Right.
So, let's listen right now to Jim Jones trying to calm her down.
Mother, 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 please. Mother, please, 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 don't do this, don't do this. Lay down your life with your child, but don't do this.
Ooh, God, you hear those babies screaming. That again, you have to remember. As we talk about the episode, we forget, or I mean, at least it's important to remember that how horrible it was there.
And that's how Marceline reacted. But Carolyn Layton, she helped stir the vat.
Good Lord.
This affair, it started with Marceline's full knowledge, as well as with the knowledge of their whole family. Jim Jones actually sat down their kids and told them that he and Mommy weren't having sexual relations anymore, so he had to take Carolyn, who you should all think of as a special friend, to fill his needs.
Because she is Father's most special friends. Because, let me teach you this lesson. Imagine semen as a bunch of prisoners inside of a horrible, wrinkled prison, and that Carolyn is like she's freeing them from jail, all over the beautiful vacation spot that is known as her breasts. And that is a thing called a pearl necklace. Kids, this is not just jewelry.
Just cut to them, just horrified faces. Poor kids.
Now, as I said last episode, I think of Marceline as the first follower of Jim Jones. And I think Marceline, a lot of the time, became a test case for Jim to see what he could get away with.
Also, it's a test case for Jim Jones. Because we talk a lot about Carolyn Layton, but she had a husband named Larry Layton, who, if he was a bird, would be a cockatiel. He had his wife taken from him. And then what he did was just be like, okay, what I'm going to do, though, is I know you're upset. We're doing this for the temple. You seem really upset. I'm going to give you a hotter wife. So he chose another lady from the congregation that was hotter, that he said was hotter. He gave him to her and be like, that's your new wife. And then 6 months later, he's like, I'm going to be taking that hot wife back because now it's mine.
Do that?
Yes.
That's not allowed.
Yes, and Larry Layton's just like, all right, well, they seem to be enjoying it, whatever it is you do.
Horrible stuff happening.
Well, as far as Carolyn Layton went, it's really his followers at large didn't know about the whole situation. But Jim Jones figured that if he could convince his wife that he needed to get laid to keep his special powers going, then he could convince his followers of anything.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine sitting your girlfriend down and being like, this is for the good of the podcast. I have to have my balls drained by many people, many different people. It's just even a horse. It's my burden. Actually, it's a thing that I wish I didn't have it.
Right, he flipped it, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
And as far as how he got Carolyn Layton into the situation, Jim sent Patty Cartmel to convince her. Patty told Carolyn that Marceline was mentally and physically unfit, and that Jim, in order to keep on being Jim, needed to have a physical release. Okay. And Carolyn had been chosen to give that to him.
And it's really sad because, honestly, Patty Clayton straight up said, I'll do it.
Right.
Because had this meeting. It was a meeting because he did everything with his committee. So they had the committee and he would meet and he would talk about how I need to fuck more. I can't do this. And Patty was like, I'll do it. And he's like, God has a different plan for you.
Oh, poor Patty.
Yeah, poor Patty, man. Yeah, because he was like, yeah, God has a different plan for you.
All right.
You, my child, shall be in charge of my fuck schedule.
That's right.
And she was never put on there herself.
She should have put herself in the game. She should have just written her name in there.
Come on.
It's what everyone who goes in the production side, who is also an entertainer, who just happens to be on screen a lot more.
Well, Carolyn, she was told that she had been chosen to give Jim the release. Carolyn was the first to be told that, but she was by no means the last. Jim would tell women that by having sex with him, they were supporting him, supporting themselves, supporting the cause, and boosting their self-esteem all at the same time.
Okay.
Why do I feel that this is a Bobby Flay move?
Beat Bobby Flay. I found out a little information on Bobby Flay. Good barbecuer, not a great chef.
Really?
And that's why he often does lose on Beat Bobby Flay.
Interesting. He makes good oils. The chili oils are really good when he was selling. They're really good.
But not famous for his cooking.
And Jim Jones, he wasn't just sleeping with women. This is a Jonestown survivor, Tim Carter's recollection of a Jim Jones proposition.
Uh-oh.
I had been in the temple for just a few months. I was sent backstage in Los Angeles to get something for somebody. I don't remember what. And Jones happened to be coming out of his room, and he said, "Hi, Tim, how are you doing? How's it going? How do you like everything so far?" And, "Oh, I like it a lot, and, it's really cool." I don't remember exactly. And he reached up and kind of patted the back of my neck, and he said, "I'll fuck you in the ass if you want." And I just kind of stammered, no, no. And he said, "Well, if you ever want that, that's okay. Just let me know and we'll do that."
Sounds like the story of every staffer who works for Louis Gohmert, which is a deep cut politically. He's a horrible, horrible politician out of Texas.
Honestly, it just sounds like Jim Jones is about to be in that wonderful film American Beauty. He's such a really good actor. That takes a really good actor to pull it off, kind of like a Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Like a really, really good one.
Dang it, American Beauty was a great movie.
It was.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was fine.
I mean, a little bit heavy on the paper bag floating nonsense, but
it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Or the
and I
plastic
still
bag.
do that joke to the dismay of my family every single time I see a plastic bag going down the street.
Yep, you got to.
Now, Jones didn't have sex with his male followers as much as he did the female, but he did it enough where older followers gave advice to newcomers.
Huh.
The Road to Jonestown quoted one follower as saying to a younger one,
"If you ask father to fuck you in the ass, take a douche."
Huh.
That's just word from an old grandfather to a young man. It's called disgusting advice. I write a column every week for the newspaper of the congregation.
That's either an elder in Jim Jones's church or a grip who worked on the Andy Dick Show. Talking, of course, about Andy
straight
Dick.
up because Jim Jones would get really mad if you got shit on his dick.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true.
yeah.
But, I mean,
If you got it on his dick. Because that's what it is. You got it on his dick.
If you're working on cars, you're going to get greasy.
Do you say that? Have you ever said that to a loved one?
He is doing that. No, just feels like, why is he mad at me? I told you going into this, Jim. It's been a rough weekend. Anyway.
Now, you think that all this would translate into Jones having a progressive view on homosexuality.
Sure.
But true to form, it was anything but.
Really?
This is another clip from that PBS documentary.
Jim said that all of us were homosexuals. Everyone except he was the only heterosexual on the planet. And that the women were all lesbians and the guys were all gay. And so anyone that showed any interest in sex was just compensating.
He sounds like a South Park character. He's the most juvenile thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I will say this. Gay guys don't say that. You know what I mean?
I'm the most heterosexual
straight.
guy of all time.
That guy is straight. And you can tell he's straight because he says, I'm the only straight one. You can say that everybody else is gay and they're just forcing him. Because that's really what it is that he has all these followers because it's the butthole runs.
He's like
they walk around with their buttholes completely open in a plank position, just shuffling back and forth on their elbows and knees, just begging for it. They call it the vase walk.
Oh, my. He reminds me of the that shithead kid from World's Greatest Dad.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. He just calls everyone gay, and you're just like, what is wrong with you? I don't listen to heavy metal music. It's gay. Why?
It's gay.
So in the late 60s, Jim Jones wasn't much different than hundreds of thousands of spiritual leaders and politicians who had come before.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised by this anti-gay thing. I did not think that would be with the unity, with all this stuff. He's very progressive on certain things.
Well, it's because he is gay. Because he's at least bi.
He's very
and
much
trying
bi.
to fight it.
Yeah. I think he's very much
always the worst.
Well, it was kind of weird because one of his followers, who was gay and wanted to live in an open gay relationship, Jim Jones was like, nah, you can't do that. But what you can do is just go down to San Francisco, go to a bar and get fucked every once in a while. It's fine. If you want, I can fuck you. It's fine, but we can't have it. We can't have it here in the community.
Wait, so you'll fuck me, but I can't have a husband?
Can't have a husband. So I think at this point, Jim Jones is like a mashup of Billy Graham, Bill Clinton, with a little tiny sprinkling of Charles Manson.
All right.
Just a little bit. But around 1970, the secret ingredient that turned Jim Jones from just a personally shitty person into a full-blown monster came onto the scene.
What happened?
Amphetamines.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that'll
God.
do it.
You mean the world wasn't better after amphetamines came onto the scene?
That'll do it.
And that's where we'll pick up next episode.
All right.
Hell yeah, man.
That's exactly what I want Jim Jones to have. Just more energy. That's what I've always said.
Well, you have to just, it makes you very productive. I think that's one thing about
At
amphetamines.
first.
Well, I was reading a thing about meth. They were talking about how crystal meth is like one thing about it. The reason why it's such a tricky drug is that when you first start doing it, you feel incredible and you just start doing like chores around the house.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, I get so much shit done and I don't need to sleep. And then eventually your teeth starts falling out and you're having sex Jim Jones style underneath a highway, saying, I'm sorry if you got shit on your dick.
Yeah,
because you're looking for money.
Then you write a beautiful song under the bridge about your addiction and you're Anthony Kiedis and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. You're rich, you're famous.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's how it works.
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
No, please do not. No meth. That is, no. How clean does your house have to be? That's what I always say. All right, everyone. Well, that's fascinating stuff. Part 2. We got a couple more coming up here.
We got at least a couple more, maybe 3 more.
Oh, my God. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I love this fucking. I mean, obviously, of course, I love this story.
It. It's probably going to end up being 5 parts. Honestly.
All right.
Yeah, because if we did 5 on Jack the Ripper, we got to do 5 on, because each of these episodes, like it's, like I'll write a huge script for it, and we usually don't even get to the end of it because we're almost already at 2 hours here.
It's amazing. And we're not even onto the sunglasses yet.
Yeah.
Does he have the sunglasses? We're amphetamines and sunglasses. It's all coming together now.
Is it starting to make sense?
It's all making sense.
Yeah, it's starting to make sense.
I get it now.
What I like to put out for this episode, though, and honestly, in Jim Jones in general, up to this point, it just shows the power of hard work. Mm-hmm. And for me, my horoscope for Taurus said that 2018 is going to be the year of hard work, and I believe that this is the year I'm going to start sowing the seeds for my own cult, because retirement's not going to last for us,
right?
And the stock market's going to go down. So this is my retirement plan, and I'm going to come out and say it so that none of you are confused when it goes down.
Okay.
We're not going to kill ourselves. We're not. I promise.
Do you get to keep all of your genitalia?
Oh, yeah. Everybody fucks.
Do we have to be a part of this?
I'm not.
You'll be officers.
I'm an
part
officer?
of the special committee. You're going to be a part of a special committee. We'll talk about this off air.
Oh, we're going to be the PC. We're going to be the planning committee.
I don't want to.
You're just taking fucking shit out of Jim Jones' paid book.
I want to be the guy in the Big Lebowski who's just in the pool. But I want to have my shirt on.
You know what that's called? You know what that's called? Recreational Admiral. And that's what you are, Kissel. Congratulations. You're the Admiral.
What do I get to be?
Security. I'd say security lieutenant.
Yeah, I'm the recreational admiral.
It kind of sounds like I'm just doing all the work again.
No. Well, no, but think about what you're good at, Marcus. It's really just about utilizing everyone's
Henry
skill.
and I have had this conversation in private many times. You say Marcus loves to work.
He loves to work. He's so good at it.
If he doesn't have work to do, then he just goes crazy. So you just need to give him more work.
Put him to work.
Hands.
Every time he's sad, just put him to work.
Well, that's good. I'm sure you can keep people up to date on your cult here on all the shows on the Last Podcast Network. Mm-hmm. What if we should plug and thank people? Thank you for the Patreon.
Oh, one thing too, we're going to talk about. I want to broach this. There's been a lot of problems with our YouTube page and YouTube fan videos, and we have no clue what's happening. That's a YouTube bot. Apparently, we started talking to them, and apparently they're trying to do a big sweep of people posting copyright material. But we're going to say right here, we love fan videos. I don't give a fuck. As far as I'm concerned, it's free advertising. Every single time you do something cool and with our name on it,
we love it.
Like we don't give a shit. So we're actively working to fix it.
I feel like we're not changing. But we really aren't changing. So if you see anything that's just like, oh, that doesn't seem in character with these dudes who we've known for 7-8 years on all series of different shows, it's just not. We just would not do that.
No, it really
honestly,
it's a
YouTube. We are too lazy and drunk to get half of these things done.
Thank you all for creating the great content. We love the content.
Of course we do. Yeah, this isn't us. We're not doing it, and we're taking steps to make sure that this type of shit doesn't happen. This is all YouTube doing it on our behest, even though we didn't fucking ask them to.
The same thing with the Patreon stuff. It's like, I don't know. The world is just weird, and everyone is coming up with ideas, and they're all fucking with us.
Yeah, they're all bad.
Yeah.
No upgrade has ever been good.
No.
No, absolutely
We're
not.
just trying to make stupid podcasts. Yeah, that's all we care about. That's really all we give a shit about.
We have no discernible talent.
No.
This is all we know how to do.
This.
So please, I promise you, we love you all very much.
Yeah.
We would not mess with stuff like that.
Yeah, and speaking of Patreon, thank you so much to everyone that has given. Patreon.com/lastpodcast on the left.
Yep.
We're going to get to shout-outs. I know we've been bad on shout-outs. We got a big old envelope of them full, but we're going to get back to them soon. But yeah, thank y'all so much. Go and listen to all the other shows on Last Podcast Network. We got a ton of them over there. Go listen to my new music show, Milk and Peppers. You can find that on MacLeod.com/Marcus Parks.
Hell yeah, I'm so excited for you. Honestly, I'm so excited for you. The show seems like a lot of fun.
It's great.
KPIS.
You can listen live every Tuesday on kpiss.fm from 1 to 3 p.m.
Can we
Eastern.
announce that we're going to bring that thing back that we were doing for AdultSwim.com?
Yeah, so I believe that it will be. We're definitely going to be bringing the stream back.
Yes.
It's going to be coming back soon. I'm shooting Pretty Face right now, so once I'm off of Pretty Face, we'll be able to do that. Season 4 also, for Pretty Face, will be coming out sometime in October. And check me out on Crashing on HBO at 10:30 on Sundays, which is now happening.
There it is.
So
Very cool.
So do that, and then follow us on all of the these suicide machines that technically we need to fucking get off of, but it's good for now. We need the numbers. For at Henry Loves You on Twitter, at Henry Loves You, at Marcus Parks, at Ben Kissel, at Instagram, at Dr. Fantasty, at Marcus Parks, at Ben Kissel, the number 1, and follow us at for Last Podcast on the Left and all your fucking Last Podcast feeds at LP on the Left.
There it is, and thanks to all for all your support in all of our endeavors as we branch out a little bit as well. So you guys are awesome, and it's great having people come with us. You know,
It's wonderful.
It's
I
very,
love it,
very
man.
fun. Hail yourselves, everyone,
Hail Satan.
Gilgeen.
Hail me, please.
and a Magustalations.
In the fight against Alzheimer's, now matters more than ever. Because now we have treatments that could change everything. But now is no time to stop. Now we've got momentum, so now we use it. Now we seize the moment. Now we turn the tide. Now we make a difference and make some noise. Now is the time to get up, get out, and join the movement. At the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's, held in over 600 communities nationwide. And we need you with us. Because now is the time for hope. Join the fight at alz.org/walk.
Oh my gosh, have you been to Marshall's lately? They have all the brand name and designer pieces you love, but without the jaw-dropping price tags. All right, so here's the truth. You should never have to compromise between quality and price. And at Marshall's, you don't have to. Marshall's believes everyone deserves access to the good stuff. And that's why their buyers hustle around the clock to make it happen for you. Visit a Marshall's store near you or shop online at marshalls.com.